Sometimes the AI music be cooking. Hello, everyone. It is your old pal, Vrograg. Back again. Boy, it's kind of a crazy week since I last streamed. Last time I streamed, I think I had just put out my little orientation video, and I was like, huh, kind of seems like it's getting a lot of traction. I think yesterday it passed 50,000 views, which is like so far beyond what my little dinky news orc operation is used to. So if anyone who found that valuable watched it and enjoyed it, thank you. I put a lot of love into it. I was hoping someone would like it and find it useful. It felt like the right time to put out that kind of thing, and I guess I did it at the right time. So that was really cool. That was really awesome. It's very encouraging. What was very frustrating, though, was that I had, like, this weekend, don't you dare stop dancing, Burger. What's going on? You know the jam. Okay, sorry. So yeah, this weekend I was volunteering the whole weekend. I had already signed up. I was already all set to go at a big Lebanese church food festival thing. It's something I do every year. Not Lebanese myself, but I got I'm married into that church essentially. So that's something I do every year. And of course, the patch and Ambershire happens on that weekend. So I'm trying desperately to volunteer the whole time and do my thing. And I'm like, don't look at my phone, don't look at my phone. And every time I look at my phone, I'm like, oh boy, there's another 3,000 views. Okay, sure. Oh look, something's on fire. I can't really take notes right now. Very frustrating. The 1.17.2 patch dropped while I was on vacation. No, I wasn't. I was at a gaming convention when that happened. Also very frustrating. I don't know why, but whenever I'm out of town, I swear, Turtle says, you know what? That's the weekend. So, if you ever hear me talk about, going away, or, going out of town, going on a vacation or something, keep that in mind, because something's going to happen on Turtle Wow. I almost guarantee you now. Who are we saying hello to today? We're saying hello to Rauk Hangren, Lazy Babs as always, Soap Lava, Loch Ness, Vlad. By the way, I hope you have a nice evening. Hope you drift off to sleep quite comfortably. Brutus and Prager. Hello. Whether you're in YouTube chat or whether you're in Twitch chat, all are welcome. All are welcome in my stream. Just don't be a dink. Let's see, what else happened? Couple things of note. I did I was so tired, but I couldn't help myself on, I think it was Saturday evening or Friday evening. Because I was Friday, Saturday, Sunday that I was volunteering. I think Friday I came home. I still had some energy left, and there was a guild run going on of Molten Core, and I'm like, I want to see the new Molten Core. I want to play it. Little did I know, I would spend most of it in the dirt. If you've tried the new revamped Molten Core, there are some classes you really want more of. You might want a touch of fire resistance and maybe some consumables, because some of those guys slap. Some of them do new mechanics. I won't spoil much about the Ragnaros because it's still new, but he does a lot more raid damage. Actually, did he do? I guess he did sort of do raid damage, but the amount he does is legit. Saffron levels, I would say. Turtle WoW Saffron levels. But if you're not ready for it, guess what happens? You die. So, I guess gone are the days of just casually walking in there with 20 to 25 people that are super overgeared and then just kind of raffle stomping it, you got to pay attention. You got to do mechanics. Also, the new boss is very fascinating. Very fun fights. Caesar, by the way, I saw your message before you deleted it. Also, once you type it in, even if you delete it, it still shows up on OBS. Just a forewarning. But, yeah. I mean, the raid loot could be buffed a little bit. I think my major concern is that if you're on Ambershire, right, and you're seeing a bunch of, like, tier 3 or up raid teams struggle with Molten Core, you gotta be sitting there going, like, yo, what am I... I don't know if I want to be first anymore. Ploxin, I'm okay with not knowing where the reflectors are. Like, for now, it's fine. It's not a big deal. I'm fine with letting people... I'm happy to know that So, what Ploxin's bringing up right now is that there were 2 new engineering recipes added. One to do Nature Reflect, one to do Arcane Reflect. And before, even though I'm a Horde appreciator, before you start whining about Holy Reflectors, Holy's just weird in vanilla. Like, there's no resist tables for it. If you don't believe me, ask a Smite Priest what they do on Twin Emperors. Because guess what? They can just stand at one boss and kill whatever. They could just DPS the same one the whole time. They don't even have to run. Because Holy's just special. It's in a very weird spot. So I think, I'm not a dev, but I'm imagining the reason they do that is because it's like, Holy is in this place where it's like, making a reflector would then just start the okay, well, why isn't there resist for Holy? And you see what I'm saying? Maybe even the client can't handle it. I don't know. But I do know that's why there probably isn't a Holy Reflector coming. There is Holy Protection Potions, by the way, if you don't know, on Turtle WoW. There's even a greater Holy Protection Potion. I use one anytime I do Nax for Zeliak, who has like a chain lightning that's holy damage. Because I'm usually healing on that fight, so I might get tagged, and it's just nice to not have to worry about that damage. And they're pretty cheap. I think it's like Golden Sansam and Elemental Air. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I could literally check, but I just kind of like Rogreg jamming out right now. Purple Gargantuan Murloc. What? Where did that come from, Little Karen? Also, I need to disable my whim before some troll comes by and then just says something really rude, because you can't, like, whim is great for someone like me who does a lot of networking, a lot of chatting, but the problem is that when someone whispers you, who, like, whispers something really out of pocket and you're on stream, I don't like that vibe. That's why I normally keep chat covered up. That's why I don't even normally show chat bubbles that often. So... Ploxin, I am not actively looking for them. I'm still curious. If you know, like, the area, like where the mobs are, that'd be cool to know just for future reference. Let me see. Holy Protection. Greater. See, here it is. Yep. Elemental Air and Golden Sansam. I remembered something. Here we go. Message box. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. Also, if you, I know I have a couple longtime Turtle WoW players. If you haven't noticed, oh, hello, Luraloon. Luraloon? Sorry, that's a hard name to say. Hey, Luraloon, do you want to show off some of those sweet new Dryad animations for the people? As I think you got those in, right? Yep, there they are. So, if you don't know, back when I was doing the Path of Rexar streams, early on in Rexana's journey, I think it was like around Stone Talon, I had bumped into Luraloon organically a few times. And, you know, they were really fun. I made sure to not... My entire journey, I never harmed a single Dryad. It was part of the RP. But Liraloon also let me know about a custom patch that she and some other people had worked on to make some custom animations for Dryads. And in the current version of Turtle WoW, you can just apply custom data patches. As long as they don't give you any sort of gameplay advantage or anything like that, and they don't break the game, you're generally fine to do it. Sometimes it's helpful for people that have like color blindness. Sometimes it's helpful for people that like have arachnophobia, like my wife. Her arachnophobia isn't like paralyzing, but she doesn't like when people on spider mounts just jump out of nowhere. So she has a data patch that will change all the spider mounts in the game into Karaji mounts, which I guess for some reason don't bother arachnophobes as much. The new idol for swim speed is on a mob that has a 2-day respawn. I didn't know, killed it randomly, got the idol, and now it seems I might be the only one to have it so far. Well, you know, the Barkskin Fisher is also off of a rare elite that I killed early because I literally focused the Barkskin Fisher because I wanted to fish in the Hygel Cave area. I didn't know he had the Barkskin Fisher. I knew the Barkskin Fisher was like an item, but I had not connected in my brain back in 1.17.1 or 0, whichever one had Hygel. So I was just cleaning him up because I just wanted to fish in that little pond area, and I didn't know that he was the mob that drops the Barkskin Fisher. So I've been in your boots before as well, Ploxen. Yeah, neither do I, Loch Ness. I'm not a huge fan of how big it is. Although, I think the smaller you make it, the weirder it looks. I don't know if that makes sense, but spiders are generally pretty spindly creatures. They're very long-limbed, just in general, right? So I think that might be why, but yeah. I do agree with you. I'm not a big fan of that. Look at that. Look at that nice sit animation. Look at that. You guys might not realize it, but vanilla Dryads do not have a lot of these little animations. Wait, Liraloon, do they have fishing animations? You probably don't know because you probably can't fish. Oh, hold on. Stone scale. I don't generally do focus fishing, but I wanted to go to Gilligim Isle to get away from it a little bit, to relax. Hello, Haxer. How's it going? You can see there's the... because I have Turtle Roleplay enabled, I can see people's Turtle RP profiles. Did I not get that fish? Maybe not. Ghost. This is Nordanaar on Turtle WoW. You can get... I think it's an illusion or a skin. I honestly don't know quite the difference. Hold on, let me see. Skins are like, you keep the same race and you can still wear clothes, I think, and then role play is like called illusions, and right here is the Dryads, and you can see there's like a couple of different colors you can use too. So I think that's whatever, 150 turtle coins or whatever, and you can be a Dryad. You can do most things in your illusions, I believe. I think mounting might be one that they don't allow anymore, but yeah. Yeah, no problem, Ghost. In fact, I have a I actually have a skin. I just got it on a lark for a little Blackwing Guard event I was doing. I have a Blackrock Orc skin. I don't use it very often unless I'm doing those little events. But I do have it. Because I so thoroughly do not like Blizzard, I would rather give Turtle WoW my $15 a month then I guess, you know, I just don't want them to have it, so Turtle WoW gets it. And since I've been playing since late 2021, that's a lot of months. So over time, I've just, I have too many, I don't know what to use my turtle coins on at a certain point, you know? Oh, hello, little Karen, how's it going? What's this? Oh, you have the Elixir of Greater Nature Power. Oh, that's awesome. Well, congratulations. Shagu, everyone say hello to Shagu in chat. Shagu, the creator of PFUI, the creator of PF Quest. You can find all his add-ons at shagu.org. You can also find a couple other interesting tools there, including some really useful tools for hunters. Shagu is a bit of a hunter fan. If you are Ploxin, I didn't do it. I promise. Did you upset Murag? I can only think of like 3 people that even have mod privileges in there. You should check out the donation store first, item under illusions. Okay, all right. What is there? I'm assuming illusions, you mean roleplay? Oh, yeah, Tome of the Wild Path. Yeah, how has that been? I think I tried to test that in the PTR. I couldn't get it to work, but I think it was broken on the PTR I was trying to use it on. It doesn't work right yet. Okay, well there you go. Who else we got here? We have Mana Lisa and Rage Lisa with us. Great raiders from Hard Knock Society, long time Vrograg fans. Happy to see you. Hope raiding's been going well. I actually got to go to Nax last night myself. I don't raid very often on Vrograg, of course, but I raid on my raiding main, which is Obamswin, who's an elemental shaman. And we had sorry, I'm gonna go back over to the flat spot, guys, now that the pool's gone. Also, it's a little bit easier to see everyone here. And I can sit and fish. I like sitting and fishing. By the way, if you're new, you can sit and fish. It doesn't seem like a big thing unless you've done a lot of fishing. And you know that if you've done a lot of fishing, this is the optimal way to fish. You fish so that the bobber is between you and your character so that it's a little bit bigger. And one other thing to note about sitting, when you right click, unless you're super quick with your right click, which can be a matter of buffering, one thing to note is that if you're standing, it has a good chance to turn your character around and then you can't cast again. If you're sitting though and you right click, you won't turn. So sitting and casting's actually, I guess if you're really sweaty about fishing, probably the best way to do it. Yeah, Lil Karen, I don't know why. I mean, yeah, you should be in there. Progger Plays, thank you very much. If you just got a Twitch sub, a gifted from Progger, say thank you. Thank you. It's very generous of you. I didn't do much to deserve it. I've just been doing what I always do. But I appreciate all the same. You know, for new people, I love talking about Turtle WoW. I love our community. I love talking about all the new things going on in it. I love talking about the little niche communities that are within Turtle WoW. I also love fishing without sound on because I just really want to not ever catch anything. There it is. You appreciate how much I love... How could you... Listen, honestly, Progger, you'd need to be a monster if you don't like Rodfather. Rodfather is probably the only person I can confidently say deserves the title Fish Slayer more than I do. And they're a credit to the community. They're a credit to Hard Chores. I think anyone that has that level of dedication to their community and plays through as much adversity as they play through, I think is someone who's always going to be rated high in my book. You know, I don't need to take everyone down that sob story. And it's not just a sob story. You know, sometimes people have tough things happen to them in life. And it's very easy when bad things happen in life to just sort of fold. I mean, I've felt that pressure too at times. And, you know, it's encouraging when people take adversity and try to make something better out of their tough situation. And I think if you know the story of Rodfather, I think anyone can take solace and comfort in that. Well, that's great. Yeah, I do know, because it is tough to talk to him sometimes. I think like he's better verbally than he is written. And anyone who's actually plays Turtlewell can actually see Rodfather for themselves. There is a little ghost NPC, Rodfather, who's on the docks in Hyjal, with a turtle pet named Imiga. These are two of Rodfather's characters. A little inside reference. Yeah. I mean, I think, as I understand it, Rodfather has like a pretty extensive RP about the story of Rodfather and sort of what his story is. There's the Save the Eels project, and yeah, I mean, just because I've already talked about it this long, I mean, I think he said he's comfortable with me sharing it, but a while back he had some sort of an incident that made him have difficulty using one side of his body. And he was, before then, already an established person within Hard Chores. The Hard Chores community did a lot to, like, continue to help him and play with him and, like, do things with him. And even though he had trouble using one side of his body, he's like, you know what? I can fish with one hand, which, I mean, you're seeing me do right now. And, you know, that to me, like, as someone who likes fishing, I'm like, oh, man, what an inspiration. Yeah, Ilmiga and Imiga. Yeah, and tell me if I'm wrong, Prager, but I believe Save the Eels is about, in one respect, it's about the story of Rodfather learning to speak with the eels. And in another respect, it's also a project to make there be some sort of enticement or reward for doing fishing as hardcore. So I mean, yeah. Because if you've played hardcore, fishing is like vital. Because you know, if you're doing raiding, you're gonna need some Petri flasks. So you need eels. You're probably gonna want to be running Titan's flasks because you just want stamina to survive things that you might not otherwise. Eels are the cornerstone of many high-end, I guess what you would call Inferno mode gameplay. So, you know, shout outs to anyone who does that much fishing. I think there was some kind of fishing competition Hard Chores had, and Rodfather came in with like 3,000 stone scale eels. just 3K. Do you know how long it takes to fish that much? I could probably do the napkin math for you, but it's not pretty. It takes a long time to fish that much. Even if you like do optimal fishing strategies for stone scale eels, it's not easy. Hello, Gen X Gamer. Also, Ploxon, I will double check here, because I don't. Community moderation. Just give me a second here. Okay, I have a couple blocked words. I can see that you are not a hidden user, Ploxon, because I know I'm looking for Larazia. Yeah, I couldn't tell you why. In fact, messages in your live chat, it says moderation none. So I actually don't know. I cannot tell you why you can't post. And you know, good thing we have Twitch chat anyway. I can still see you there. So yeah, let's see what else is going on this weekend. Like I said, I got back and I did Nax Ramus. If you don't know, Elemental Shaman got some new toys to play with. If you don't care about Elemental Shamans, you might want to go grab a drink, maybe get a snack. This diatribe will probably be 10 minutes long. So actually let me catch that fish. Let me see if I can get this up here. Oh, I don't want that one. Talent. Oh, you guys can see that. Oh, okay, great. Oh, you guys can actually, you just saw the script for the radio news I just did earlier today. Let me see if I can move this around a little bit. Wait, fish. Where's the fish? Okay, we got the fish. There, move that up a little bit. Okay, another fish. No, I will multitask. Elemental Mastery doesn't guarantee you a... Oh, wait, is this even the right one? This isn't the right one. It is. I'll move this over here just so I can watch my bobber a little better. Okay, so we have... Maybe I'll bring the window here so I don't have to click off of it so often. Elemental Mastery is now not something that guarantees you a crit. It just gives you 15% extra damage and reduces mana cost for a little bit. It's nice. It's a little bit of an adjustment if you've done Elemental for a long time as I have, because you kind of like think like, oh, I popped this to do big crit. No, not the case anymore. Earthquake. This is the big one. Big AoE damage. I got to finally test it out in a raid scenario. It's very, very good. Oftentimes, as a shaman, you are sort of in a situation where you can't... if you're elemental, you're probably wearing some amount of cloth caster gear. And you're probably wearing some mail gear from tier sets. That's fine with alternate tier sets. But getting into melee to then drop a Fire Nova to then do like a Chain Lightning is a little awkward. Now you can just do an Earthquake and then do a Chain Lightning. You don't have to like run in unnecessarily and lose some uptime. So this is actually a pretty big win for the AoE capabilities of a Shaman. It has a bit of a cooldown, so you can't do it like, if you're going quick, you can't do it on every pack, but it's still really good. And it does have a slow associated with it, so I don't know what the impact on this might be for PvP as someone who doesn't really play PvP, but anyone has any input on that, I would love to know. Improved Molten Blast. There's something broken with it, as I understand it. So the team's trying to like make Fire Shock do something other than just be the crappy shock that does a dot. So they've tried a couple things. Way back in CC1, I think they changed like its coefficient and its mana cost. You know, most shamans still didn't nibble, but they've added this thing called Molten Blast. Now, it looks kind of like a Pyroblast, like the spell particle effect. It's just as slow too, but the nice thing is that it can refresh your Fire Shock dot. However, it won't refresh it on a partial resist, which if you've done caster damage in like a raid scenario, you know that you get a lot of partial resists. It's just, there's always going to be 15 spell resistance you can't get through. And if you're, you're not going to be spamming Molten Blast. It's going to be something you want to do in like a rotation to keep up that dot. And if you're losing it on partials, it's just not worth it. So hopefully that gets fixed so I can do like more testing with it. One thing that like me and five other shamans have really made use of in the past is a sort of enhancement tank and elemental build where you get Eye of the Storm so that you can like do some trash farms in dungeons, because before Eye of the Storm, when you get crit, it makes it so that you can not get any pushback on spells. But now it's only elemental spells, which is probably has more to do with a PvP situation than anything else. But if you're like me, one of like the, maybe 10 or so shamans that have tried doing like a strat solo trash farm using Eye of the Storm so you can get healing through, it's not going to work anymore. I mean, it can, but you probably are just better off just doing like regular enhancement and then just working it out from there. So that was a bummer for me, just personally. Other changes, they changed some stuff with how some of the fire stuff stacks. The other big note I have is Searing Totem getting spell, pen, and hit from you rather than just spell damage, and crit too, I think, is really a big deal. That actually makes Searing Totem very, very good. According to my logs last night, it made up a much bigger chunk of my damage on boss fights, so that's cool. That's about the long and short of what I had for elemental. I do flex heal in Nax, so like I'm primarily there as DPS, but there's some fights like Four Horsemen or depending on how many healers we have, I might be asked to heal. So I did do some healing. I was healing in Frostwing Lair, and that's when I noticed Chain Heal was broken, which I think has a wider impact because, at least on the PvE servers where there's cross-faction grouping allowed. Actually, I would even say this would probably be a huge impact on Telebim, because a lot of their healers, probably a bigger percentage, are shamans. When I say Chain Heal's broken, what I mean is sometimes it will bounce, sometimes it won't, even though there's definitely eligible healing targets. Raid healing is what shamans bring to the table for healing, and if it's not working right, it's bad. Like it's genuinely like kind of doomsday for. But however, I have been assured that the team's aware of that, and they're working on it. So that's something at least. Hopefully that gets fixed sooner than later, especially for like Telebim Horde. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, they have priests and druids. I guess they better get good at prayer of healing for raid damage. But that's tough. So hopefully that gets rectified. That's most of my review about the shaman changes thus far. And now I'm going to go catch up with chat. New zones are awesome. Too bad a lot of people just didn't level up an alt to enjoy the zones, but sometimes it's nice just to chill questing when grouping with higher levels slaughtering the place. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think everyone's going to engage with the new content differently. I mean, I remember when Gilneas first got released, there was a lot of like high-level 60s that just wanted to see things, and I respect that. I think that's fine. I think the content is best enjoyed when at level. That being said, Turtle devs are notorious for overtuning their custom content. That's not a slight, by the way. I think that's fine given how much stronger classes have slowly gotten over time. So like, I think the new content they make matches the strength of their characters, whereas the vanilla content is easier by comparison because it hasn't gotten the standard buffs. Although, I guess some things got buffs too, like just health buffs overall, so and I guess it's not as noticeable as before. Let's see. I see Ploxen asking, Little Karen, tell me how you got the duck companion. I know there's a duck companion. I'm assuming it has something to do with Ambershire, because that's where I saw ducks. I do not know how to get it. I think it's really cute, though. And let's see. I catch up other statements here. Loch Ness. You're on the tiny island east of Gilligan's. Yes, Loch Ness. That is... Actually, sorry, I didn't even show my map. I'm right here. I'm chilling with Liraloon, who's making sure that I don't do anything against... For any like lore smiths out there, I think it's a beautiful thing when a Dryad and an Orc can just peacefully share a beach together. There's no animosity. You know, it doesn't break down into like, one of your leaders killed my god. In the back of Rogreg's head, I think he's thinking it. Sorry, what'd you say? What'd you say? You killed my dad? I didn't kill your dad. But you keep calling him a demigod or like a god. If he was killed by an orc, was he really a god? That's all I'm going to say. I mean, yes, he was juiced up on the fell magic. Also, who was that? Thank you, Tolzarama. Thank you. Appreciate you. By the way, when you say that, that always upsets the Dryads. It was an entire army of juiced fell orcs. Yeah, but I mean, who got the credit? It was Grom, right? Actually, I don't remember Warcraft 3 that well. Oh, look, the Blackmouth pool came back. Oh, let's see what else we got. Haxor says, "Damn, Little Karen flexing that new cool mount." I didn't even see the mount. I'm too busy off in my own world just chatting and fishing. What did I miss? Does that totem hit crit work? What totem? Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Haxor, you mean for the, I do have to still go over my logs and compare it to previous logs. I would say colloquially, when I was paying attention, most of what I was paying attention to was trying to get the stupid fire shock to keep ticking, but it's like an invisible... Anyway, I wasn't looking for my Searing Totem as much as I was looking for fire shock and it getting re-upped with magma blast. I already forgot the name of it, but I would say from what I saw, Searing Totem's crit and hit was working. Like, I was noticing I was hitting a lot more. Oh yeah, that's a good point, Liraloon. You know, I actually Vrograg had fought Grom. He fought the Ghost of Grom to get his axe weapon skill. If you don't know, on Turtle WoW, there are quests for anyone to get certain weapon skills. You have to have the weapon skill to do the quest. But yeah, each one of them has like a cool story. Some of them are the difficulty of them varies wildly. As a rogue, I can solo the Grom one, but I know like the sword one, you need a group. For instance, everything in between, I guess. I don't know if there's any like you need a raid for, but let's see. Necro says, "Why this earthquake as an ultimate spell is so bad? Please fix it." Damage wise, it was doing great for me, Necro. I don't. it was a banger. I mean, maybe for PvP it's not so great, but if I had to choose between that as a capstone or the previous incarnation of Elemental Mastery, I'm picking Earthquake every day. I'm not even sorry. I think that is the right choice. It just does a lot of damage. It's true AoE that you don't get locked out of like Fire Nova. It doesn't require silly positioning because you need to get in there with Fire Nova. It's pretty good. I mean, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I feel you. I get you. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for your opinion, but in my view, big fan. Haxer says the chain heal was figured out and should be in for... So if it's on the change log, that means it's a server-side fix. That's actually encouraging. That means it's less critically messed with or broken. James Baggett, excuse me. Is it like the Flame Strike or Blizzard Earthquake? It's sort of like its own thing. If you are an Elemental Shaman, I will say, if you do Earthquake, you want to make sure your raid knows you're going to do Earthquake, because everyone in your raid's going to go, wait, where's that popcorn coming from? Because the particle effect looks just like the crumblies around Oro. They will have to get used to that. But, yeah, it's, so the way it works is it's like a 2 or 2.5 second cast, something like that. It's a true AoE, so there's not like limited in how many things it can hit. It first does a bunch of damage, and then in a little bit of time does like a second wave of damage, like the aftershocks. So you get, it's a nice twofer. You know, if you're getting really sweaty with it, you can run up in melee, cast the Earth Shock, and then drop a Fire Nova or vice versa. It's just that if you're in a sweaty group, there's a good chance that AoE pack's not going to last that long. So you got to make your choice. I could certainly see... I don't think it's possible to get Nature's Swiftness and Earthquake, but that would be very interesting. Let's see. Oh, Loch Ness, that's you. Hello. Thanks for coming by. I hope you brought a good fishing rod. If you're wondering why I'm not catching things, I will join you in wondering that. You know, I am probably one of the more annoying people who can sneak into the dev chats. They have a fishing rework in the works for 1.18.1. But in the meanwhile, your boy Vrograg here gets a bunch of empty casts. I'm hitting the right timing. I have enough skill. I don't get the warning says like your fish got away. It just, there's no fish. Sometimes it happens. Is it annoying? Yes. Will I complain about it until it's fixed? Yeah. Oh, okay. Rodfather, I hope you have a lot of fun on Brukowski. I am so curious how that goes. The Brewmaster challenge where you can only get XP when you are smashed. Like in the early levels, like if you can't really do it as a fresh character, right? Because you don't have enough gold. So it has to be like a secondary character challenge, I would assume, in some respects. But you have to kind of think about like your, I don't know, it'd be like drinks per XP ratio, how long it lasts. Symmetra973, thank you for the YouTube subscription. Appreciate you. See that one, that fish cast, I messed up. That was me. I'm not blaming the devs for that one. Let's see. Have you seen the new WoW mid cinematic? No? Should I? What is that? Okay, hold on. Is it retail WoW? If it is, I'll make fun of it, but I will not give them any airtime. Most of you know me as a pretty nice orc, right? I don't got a lot of hate in my heart. For game publishing companies, though, you'll see more of the Warcraft 2 orc in me. You know, you could see Emperor Palpatine standing behind me, whispering, "Yes, let the hate flow through you." In general, it's nothing with their employees I have an issue with. It's just how the corporate entity has treated its community over the years. And I think that's not something that a lot of people here would probably disagree with me on. Not in good faith. The profiteering, the taking advantage of community trust time and time again, making promises they don't keep, and closing out community aspects in a lot of respects. And also, by the way, going after private servers, which I also think is kind of out of pocket. You're a multi-billion-dollar company, even bigger if you think because you're owned by Microsoft. You can't make a better product than, some people with a bad client and emulated software. That's on you. It's kind of like how I feel about Nintendo, Games Workshop. Any company that goes after their fans for their creative expression and enjoyment of their intellectual property is someone I don't really want to give more coverage than I need to. I'll probably watch the cinematic at some point so I can at least, be hip to what all the kids are talking about, but I probably won't have anything positive to say. Oh, no, that's not even true. I'll probably have something positive to say, because I normally do. But it's going to be about the animators. It's not going to be about Blizzard. Anyway, I will never apologize for an anti-Blizzard rant. Yeah, and by the way, if you play retail, that's fine. Like I'm okay with you playing retail. I don't expect anyone to have that level of hate in them that I do for Blizzard. And at the end of the day, you only go around the world so many times. If you're having fun playing retail, go play retail. Like honestly, like genuinely. That is a much better use of your time. You don't need to sweat the silly stuff that I do that I'm like, well, they're not very nice to all their community and they take advantage of them. It's like, and you're just like, I don't know, dog, I just kind of want to play a game. It's okay to be that guy. It's okay. Yeah, Nina. I mean, the thing is that, I mean, that's really memed upon the whole you think you do but you don't. But that's just developers can be out of touch. It can happen, and it can happen quite frequently, especially when they start getting into management. It's low key one of the reasons why I do the work that I do as a community advocate and doing my citizen orc journalism stuff that I do, as I do what I can to make sure that the team is on the up and up, that they're still behaving like as a good leader of a community should. And there have been times when I've had to investigate stuff and look into things. At a certain point, after doing it for years, if I keep assuming they're secretly, at how long do I have to say that, like, wow, they've pretended to be good guys for this long? They surely are hiding something. You know, at what point can I just go, okay, I should still be vigilant, but maybe they're not like monsters. But if I'm being real with you guys, I don't expect everyone to come to that same conclusion, as I think everybody has their own level and burden of proof that they need for themselves to feel that way. But what I try to do is bring that information to light when it's applicable, and you know, it's not like I'm a shot caller at all, but in places where I'm like, hey, community is not going to like that for XYZ, I just like to be that voice to remind them that, you know, the community wants what's best for itself, and they should always have, if possible, a voice at any decision-making table. I'm not a shot caller, but I can at least voice some of players' frustrations, their hopes and dreams for things, you know. I think that's okay, and I think that's what anyone would want from a community advocate, is someone who's in their corner trying to get the best game, get the best community. So yeah, boy, I'm real chatty today, guys. I don't know about you. Hello, Laxel. Progress is Blizz is terrible. Yeah. They have a really good animation studio, though. I don't know if you noticed. Oh yeah, Progrer. That now. I would love that to be I would love that to be a thing. I have, like, quote unquote, officially did like this huge. I did this huge write up about like things and elements that could be added to a fishing rework. And one of the things that I added as part of that is something called bycatch. If you don't go fishing or aren't involved in the fishing industry in real life, I guess, bycatch is, like, let's say right now, if I'm just trying to get stone scale eel, anything that isn't stone scale eel would be considered bycatch. And sometimes bycatch can still be valuable, sometimes it isn't, but oftentimes, at least in commercial fishing or even like hobbyist fishers, if you catch something you don't want, you can throw it back. You can also use it as bait. You can use it even as chum in certain circumstances, and it's something that's widely done in fishing. So I was like, hey, how many times have someone that does open water fishing like myself, because I love open water fishing, how many times am I going to come back with like 68 red gill and then like, maybe 20 of a fish I actually want? It would be really cool if we had more we could do with those fish, like making a chum bucket, making bait with it, maybe even some more cooking recipes, something that we can actually do with those fish. Because right now, as it stands, all of the bycatch fish, even cooking them, all it does is add like 2 to 3 copper to its resale value. Like that's it. Which I kind of think is wild. I'm like, really? That's it? And you can add a lot of value to rune cloth just by making it into bandages. That's a good one too. Soap, fish oil for shamans. I think that should be maybe a like a shaman ability, maybe. You know how for instance, right here, right? I'm a rogue, so I have. I'll catch that fish. Oh, I missed it. All right. Thistle tea. This is a rogue-only cooking recipe. Making fish oil could be a cooking recipe. That's a shaman-only quest. So And you could do something where you could get fish oil and fish scales, which are the 2 reagents you need for your water walking and water breathing spell. I think that'd be cool. Little things like that, I think would be nice. Progger, thank you. I did talk about this at the beginning of the stream, but yeah, I put a lot of love, I put a lot of work into that video. I'm glad it got to the right people. I'm glad I released it when I did too. I'm still genuinely stunned at how many people watched it, how many people thumbs up it. The silly amount of subscribers I got too. It really gobsmacked me. I did not expect that. I was thinking like, oh, I might get like 5, maybe 7,000 viewers from like new people that find me. I did get a plug, I think, from the Turtle Wow Discord in a couple spots where they're like, because that video covered some questions that are pretty commonly asked, or people are like, hey, is there any sort of guides? I think some of the support staff were like linking my video. And at a certain point, I think either Acalix or Torta linked it in preparation for Ambershire. But before then, the video was growing at a certain rate. It got like a tiny bump from that, but it continued growing at the same rate. So I would like to think that the Turtle Wow bump helped, but I think it was already on its own trajectory before then, which is kind of wild. A lot of fishing stuff is just there to level alchemy. Yeah, I guess. Hunters should be able to make snacks for pets with little food buff. I don't know about the food buff, but I do think they should be able to make, now that I've played a hunter, it'd be cool if you could make, like little kibble or something that has like really good, feeding value. Because I remember like the level of the item will change how happy they are. So maybe if it's something that's like boosts how happy they get, I think that'd be nice. Yeah, I mean, soap, that's probably the next thing that's sort of in my crosshairs, things that I'm thinking about doing is, I kind of want to, I mean, this is from back in 2023. I did like a small thing, a small little thing about Crescent Grove, but I kind of want to do a dungeon guide for Crescent Grove. I did a dungeon guide for Hateforge Quarry. I think Crescent Grove, because it's a little long in the tooth, a little older, it doesn't get as much attention from Turtle Wow because they're like, maybe we don't show off some of our older stuff. I still like it. It's not the best dungeon. It's not like anything like that, but every one of these dungeons has something cool, unique, or special about them, and I think people also want to know what's going on with the dungeon they're going to. For people that are more enjoy immersion, they're like, okay, so why am I here? What's at stake? Who are the denizens here? And then you can also use the quests to sort of fill out some of the story that Turtle's been filling out in time. And then you can like talk about the, actual mechanics and the fights themselves. So that's something that interests me. I'd have to do a lot of work for that, but it's not something I'm shy of and I have experience with. I do not expect it to get the kind of attention my orientation guide got, but at the same time, I hope people can use something like that. So, Brendan, don't worry about getting Crashtown. I mean, you can tell Crashtown that Frogreg says hi and that I miss him. But as I often tell people, if you're flourishing, if you're happy, if you're doing your thing and enjoying your life, you don't need to come back to anything, man. Like, you can move on. You can do whatever you want. It's all good. I mean, I'll always treasure the time I have a Crash Town. Crash Town was someone I used to raid with in Blackwing Guard in 2022 and 2023. You know, he got busy with real life, and, you know, but it was always funny because he's Australian, and you know, I don't know if he kind of was laid it on a little thick with his accent, but we always had a fun time, and we had this little thing we would do when we were progging Nax initially. Whenever we would get to the, I guess it's not really a suppression room, but I've heard it called the suppression room before Hagen. I would feed my input mic with my soundboard into the Discord, and I would play the safety dance song. And Crashtown loved it so much. I don't know if it's because he was Australian, and Men Without Hats, I believe, is it Men at Work? Now I forget the name of the band, but I'm pretty sure they're Australian. Yeah, abiotic. I mean, that's largely what I was basing my Hateforge Quarry dungeon guide on. I love those videos. I think they're great, and I don't think and this is no swipe at Platinum Wild. Like I think he's a great content creator. I don't think because of how involved he is with like retail, I think it would be problematic for his career if he did anything on private servers, you know? So, all right, that's fine. Again, that's Blizzard, not him. So, that being said, this is just as authentic and as true a classic community as any. So, if I have the experience and the knowledge on how to make a video like that, like, I think the community deserves something like that. Someone else does it before me, I'm not going to be mad. I'll still do it, though. What did I miss there? Oh, actually, Progger, by the way, you are right. I think it was on the launcher for a time. It was like top of the launcher. You know what was funny, Brendan? When you said he definitely didn't bung the accent on, I remembered somewhere in the recesses of my mind Australians saying that term, like something like bung, that word, meaning like just like kind of like laying it on thick with their accent. I don't even know what the aphorism is exactly, but I remember hearing it before, and I'm like, I don't want to say it, I'll get it wrong. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, James, I remember those. I mean, he had like regular dungeon guide videos, but he also had why do I want to kill them? which is fine because, you know, I've never met the guy, but I feel like someone like Platinum WoW and I sort of have like a similar vibe about the game. You know, he might be super duper into role playing and stuff, but I think he's someone that's fascinated about lore and likes talking about lore, which is something I enjoy doing. I think he knows a lot more lore than I do. But I love giving context to the things you do in a story. I learned so much about dwarven history when I did my Hateforge Quarry quest. It was enlightening. I actually kind of care about the story in Grim Reaches. What are the dwarves doing over there? How are they doing? How are the Wildhammers holding up? You know, what's the run up to Grim Batol? what's the story that's unfolding there? I'm really curious about that. Well, I mean, yeah. Haxor says many of the big WoW YouTubers are just afraid to speak up against Blizzard. Why wouldn't they be? If many of the big WoW YouTubers doing this kind of stuff, it's their livelihood. You know, I would never hold it against someone to be shy against doing something because they think they might get sued or lose their job. That's not a good time. If, you know, Papa Blizzard comes and attacks me and, you know, copy strikes my YouTube channel, it'll suck. I put a lot of love and effort into this. It's not my livelihood, though. You know, I still have a full-time job. I have a lovely wife. I could still play Turtle WoW. I mean, don't get me wrong, it would absolutely be devastating, but for someone like, you know, like a Platinum WoW or some of the other bigger WoW content creators, losing access to such a big, important part of your income, or potentially all of it, that's scary. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So I never hold it against content creators. And in fact, this is one of the reasons why I personally believe Nixium's one of the real ones, because Nixium has like openly done content on Turtle WoW. Like, not, and you know, I think in the larger scheme of things, like, is Nixium the biggest WoW content creator? Like, maybe not, but he has like a wife and kids. That's a risk. And, you know, for him caring about his content and caring about being authentic and putting all that at risk, you guys should all subscribe to Nixium. Even if he, you know, plays retail or whatever. Like, I think that's impressive. Exactly, Blessy. Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think, Haxor, that diversity of content is also what kind of protects him. I mean, overall, the thing about WoW, right, is that it's such a consuming game. You can get so wrapped up in it. You can get so involved. You can spend hours and hours, and it can very easily be the only game you play. And I think in many ways, to connect with the community that you're trying to connect with, it kind of has to be in some respects. At least for a certain segment of the population. So because of that, it's not easy to diversify out of WoW content. And I think, in a sense, Blizzard Legal knows that. You know, but yeah. What are you gonna do? Oh, yeah, so I think not only is branching out from WoW content, if it's your job, I think it's actually the prudent maneuver, right? Because, yeah, not that it's exactly like stocks, but I think in this particular case, you are investing something, and by diversifying, you expose yourself to less risk. If you have your eggs in many different baskets, you don't lose everything if you lose WoW, right? So, I mean, even like the, you know, a more straight up and down, you know, talking heads and news channel like Bellular, even they diversify. You know what I'm saying? Even though, like, their bread and butter is WoW, but they still talk about other games. I think you got to. I mean, Lax Elf, I think it is... You just cast a spell on me? Okay. Thanks, Liraloon. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, you did. You gave me roses. Thank you. I'm very excited for you and all your new animations. Loch Ness, I mean, you say you're catching 0 fish, but then what are these? Also, you can look, I don't know how good the fidelity is on your screen, but according to this, I've caught 10 oily blackmouth, 23 plated armor fish, 3 stone scale eel, 8 strangle kelp, 14 nightfin snappers, 1 Rumsey Rum Light, 3 red gill, and 1 tightly sealed trunk, which I haven't opened yet. But you catch stuff here, but it's like a 50-50, so you can have a bad run of luck. Oh, Yorick, congratulations on getting Craftmaster. That's awesome. What do you think was like, was there like a particular level or like sort of like leveling bracket that was particularly tough for you? Because I know only being able to equip crafted gear must be very difficult. Abiotic, that is so true. Yes. That's why I talk about the community. If I just talked about Turtle WoW, I'd get bored. The community is infinitely more fascinating than the game. No offense to Turtle WoW, but I think the ephemera of people is much more interesting. The stories, all that. Yeah, you know, so I do want to say, York says, between 1830 was awful because of the hump on getting bronze to iron sucks. You need to get lucky mining silver at green to be able to get iron. Yeah, I could see that being difficult. There might be certain zones that are better than others, but then they also might be hard to get to because you're probably not higher level and you're probably not well geared. And if I remember correctly, the original implementation of the Craftsman Challenge meant that you couldn't even equip bags unless you crafted them. I think they loosened that restriction up. I'm pretty sure they did, which is good because it's like, all right, what's a rogue gonna do now? Like, well, you need to have leatherworking. You probably need to have blacksmithing for weapons. You also need tailoring. Like, you can't do it all. Good to know, York. Gilneas is amazing for Mithril, and Telebim is fantastic for Thorium. So if you're out there mining, trying to level up, your man Yorick got you covered. Ooh, Haxer, that is tough. At least he'll get there with unarmed, right? Hold on. There's something else you mentioned, Haxer, I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah. You mentioned prestige system would be really interesting to have on Turtle with all the low-level content and challenges. This is something that I've spoken about with some people in my guild. My raid lead, who I don't know if I agree necessarily, but I understand his point of view when he says, I would love to do these dungeons as a level 60. I would love for there to be a way for me to, like, with some math or something, like, just be put in the spot of a level appropriate person for this dungeon. I agree with that. I think that would be awesome. I don't know what kind of... Part of me feels like it's more possible than not just because of scaling. Like, if you can do scaling for raids, you could probably do scaling for, like, players if they're over leveled, but I don't know how that would work. Oh, so when you say prestige, you mean go back to level 1? Yeah, I could see that. I could probably I would comfortably say if something like that happened, that'd be something I'd be interested in doing on Vrograg. And that's largely because Vrograg's kind of retired. Like, I have a Thunder Fury, I have a lot of tier 3. I kind of want to try out some of the new Rogue stuff, but I don't got enough hours in the day to be running 2 raid tunes, doing news, trying to make other videos. I don't want to get burned out. Yorick now needs to find a cloak and some rings. Oh yeah, that's right. You don't have leatherworking or tailoring for cloaks, and you don't have jewel crafting for the other stuff. Huh. Yeah, that is kind of a limitation, isn't it? I mean, you know, if you did it as a warrior, you have weapons. That's important. Abiotic, I talked with a lot of people about the new meta of assassin, subtlety, and combat. I just haven't really got to try it. I could literally be doing content right now, but I'd rather be fishing and chilling. Yorick, I knew. Somehow I knew you were a warrior with blacksmithing and mining. In my soul, I knew. People on Ascension resetting dozens of times. Oh yeah, because there is a way to prestige there, right? It's been a long time since I played Ascension. I had some fun on Ascension. I didn't really like the community, and I'm sure as you guys probably have picked up, I'm kind of a community-oriented player. So like, if I'm kind of feeling the vibes, and I feel like the vibes are like really, by the way, this is not a broad brush I'd like to paint all of Ascension players with. My experience is that I ran into a lot of very sweaty, very open to being pay pigs for Ascension, and I didn't really like it. And, you know, I remember I was like trying new things and I got yelled at for not knowing what I was doing. And I'm like, yo, dog, I'm just learning here. I don't know what to tell you. And that's something that as a content creator, I want to preserve, and I want to project and protect, because I think that is really what makes Turtle WoW special, is that it's a warmer, more beginner friendly community with room and space for casuals, but also more sweaty players. But generally, the more sweaty Parse Lord brains generally need to be a little patient. Generally. And it works. It also acts as a knife's off-ramp. I wouldn't say his name, because I don't think I've ever like asked him like, hey, would you be comfortable telling people your story? But I have raided with a long time a player. He's been an officer, done a number of things in my guild, and when he was first coming up, he was very meta-minded, very very sweaty, and I would say to the detriment of the game sweaty, because I think tryharding's fine to a certain extent, and he's been playing on here for years at this point, and I believe there was during the Nax last night, it was his voice that actually was the call to be like, hey, we don't need to be speedrunning stuff. Let's just take a deep breath. Let's take a step back, and then just try to get it right. Like hearing him being the patient, the cautious and more casual friendly voice is sort of like a case study in that, like, if you can find the right community, you can actually enjoy the game in a different way. And it doesn't need to be so all encompassing. It can be more holistic. It can be more enjoyable. Even to a certain extent, I've gone through some of that. I think when I, first started on the server, I definitely wanted to prove myself. I wanted to like show off the things I could do. Somewhere along the lines, I was like, I don't know, like after doing, whatever raid for the, bajillionth time, you're like, maybe I just like hanging out with these people. Maybe I just like hanging out and just raiding. And I think once you kind of get that in your mind, you can kind of let go of some more of the like, yeah, but if I'm super try hard, I could do 10 more DPS. Like maybe I bet in some extent that certainly exists for like right now for Kara 40, because that is a really difficult raid. But do you know what I've done about Kara 40? All right. I guess I'm not doing it for a while. Not a big deal. What's the rush? I rushed to get to Nax. Then I got to Nax and I was in Nax for forever. So, I mean, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. Like, Turtle will still be here. Like, what is the rush? I think kind of that, especially like this year, kind of like opened my mind to the fact that like, oh, huh. It really isn't just about that one thing, is it? It's not an easy lesson to teach people. I don't think it's something people can learn unless they're ready to learn it either. But it's out there. And I think Turtle WoW can be an avenue to kind of be that off-ramp for people from that high expectation, high pressure gameplay when it's like, dog, it's a game. Just have fun. Shagu, it's probably one of the nicest things you've ever said to me. I really like Blackwing Guard, even though it's changed a lot over time. There's been the concerted efforts over time to sort of preserve things in there, to keep that open culture. One of like the core things is that like, hey, in Blackwing Guard, we don't care about guild tag. Like, if you want to be on the raid team, you can be on the raid team. It's actually been a huge benefit to us, because in the past, we've had people that are just into RP, that were looking for a raid team that didn't require them to leave their RP guild, right? That, coupled with, keeping things roughly PG-13, can help parents feel a little bit more comfortable. And when we actually do have some younger people that play, believe it or not, we don't have to wince when someone says something very out of pocket in guild chat. We'll be like, hey, not here. And it works out. And exactly, Jar Jar. Also, Jar Jar, by the way, you've made quite a name for yourself in the last month or so. With that last stand against Solnius, and then that last stand you had last night against Resuvius. I wish it was recorded. I mean, maybe someone from Raid recorded it. We had a successful Resuvius, but it kind of broke down at the end because the healers kind of sort of forgot they're supposed to heal their the tanks. Not the tanks, but like the ads when they're mind controlled. So they were dying. So we were like down to like 10% roughly. And Jar Jar is a warrior. And if you've ever had the unfortunate happenstance to be hit by Resuvius, I know I have as a rogue tank, he kills you. Like he will kill you usually in 1 to 2 hits. If you're a rogue, it's going to be 1 hit. If you're like a warrior or like a bear tank, it might take 2, but you're probably going to die. You're going to get crushed. Jar Jar stood and banged with Vesuvius for a solid, like, 15, 20 seconds. Like, you can have shield wall on. You will still die. Not Jar Jar. And yes, during that raid, I was like, well, you should shout out the healers too. I'm like, yes, the healers, I would love to shout you out, but you didn't heal the mind-controlled tanks, so I can't shout you out all the way. Because Jar Jar couldn't have been the hero if he had done your job in the first place. No shade. But no, Jar Jar, that was a lot of fun watching that. My butt was dead. I was on the ground just looking up. Yeah. And I've also had a lot of fun doing the I haven't like shared this a lot with, I think I've shared it a couple times with stream, but I do my I have this weekly thing I do. It's Blood on the Clock Tower, but it's reskin for Blackwing Guard lore. It's a social deduction game, and I run it with like a core of like 6 people who show up. And we have a lot of fun playing that, and Jar Jar's a real riot when he's in there. James, he says, it comes down to boomer servers, zoomer servers. Yeah, I mean, maybe to a certain extent. I think, you know, if we're painted with a more broad brush, I think a slower play style, more community focused, I think that's something that generally would be more appealing to older players. But that's largely in part because a lot of, and I don't want to speak maybe for the experience of being a woman in gaming spaces, so I'll at least speak for like my experience as being like a young man in gaming spaces. I'd say there's sort of like a kind of like a chip on your shoulder that you need to sort of kind of like prove yourself in some way. And I think that mentality certainly dives a little deeper into the sort of, you know, the more sweaty mindset, the more, you know, meta kind of stuff. I don't think it's a hard and fast rule. I think there are players that don't care about that kind of thing and want a more chill experience. And I think there's older players that still want that more prove yourself kind of experience as well. I think there's some truth to what you're saying there, but and also I think like as I don't really want to speak for like women's experience in gaming spaces, but my experience when talking to women in gaming spaces, it's generally been that's less attractive to them, that they enjoy more of the social aspect of the game. So, you know, maybe that would also be, you know, that kind of a atmosphere would be less attractive to them, which thereby makes Turtle a better pick. Oh yeah, Apollo, I feel ya. You know, I think any living game is going to have that to some extent. Apollo, by the way, says coming from vanilla to vanilla BC, then returning for Kata. I can't stand the state retail is in. I tried classic on launch, but as they're adding more expansions to the classic model, it feels redundant. I literally just found Turtle and started 20 minutes ago. Well, welcome. But, you know, there are some things that you can only do once. You can only, you know, really ever, you know, walk into Naxxramas for your first time once, right? So the reason I bring that up is because I think there's with any living game, there's always going to be this push and pull for change versus stasis. And I think it's completely valid to be like, I don't like the way that certain games have changed. But I'm going to tell you right now, I guarantee you there are people that played Turtle WoW, in 2018, 2019, 2020, who when things started to change, they're like, it's not for me anymore. So I don't think anything's quite immune to that. But I think what I think matters to players, at least in a WoW sense, is do the changes feel like something that's more community oriented, something that's more pointed towards the players and experiencing WoW, rather than WoW being sort of a sideshow kind of theme park thing. I think that description's been used a lot for retail WoW, but so yeah, I find your observations pretty fair. Hacker says the magic of Turtle WoW is that everything stays relevant. There is no hard... Really, Haxer? Really? Can I shoot? Haxer, I'm only doing this because I know you well enough to do this. Everything stays relevant, really? Oh, okay then. Well, I'm so glad you said that, because let me show you something, Haxer. I have a couple tank specs here. Oh, let me just throw on that gear. You see all this right here? Is my tank gear still relevant? Can I still be a tank? Is that still relevant? I have a Thunder Fury, for crying out loud, so I could tank better. I didn't want Thunder Fury. Not that badly, until I thought I could tank with it. Look at this. Oh wait, that isn't even the right gear. Hold on. Where's my right gear? It has changed over time. Is it... Oh, it's Blitz. It's the Blitz. You see this? See this? Oh, you can't actually see that glove this well. Hold on. I'm still making points. Hold on. Bloodfang fists. Bloodfang gloves. These are tier 2. They have a threat enchant. Do you know why they have a threat enchant? Because these used to be really good tanking gloves. Stats on them got changed. What about Bloodfang? Bloodfang Spalders. Do you know why I had these enchanted? I had tier 0.5, but I got these enchanted because it used to have 1 dodge for my tank set. Bloodfang Boots also used to have 1 dodge. Doesn't anymore. Relevant. I'll give you relevant, Haxer. There are still people tanking as rogue and theory crafting with the new 1.18 changes. Yeah, I know. I know there are. But it's not great. It's not that it's like suddenly like terrible and I should never do it, but it's like, ugh. Hold on. Naked Rogue Rag. We're back, baby. We're so back. Oh, wait, what was the other one? Wait. This one I did genuinely want to complain about. Hold on, I'm almost done my diatribe. Okay, I promise we'll get another topic. Shifting Cloak. I paid to have this made because it was really good for evasion, for like dodge tanking. Now, its new equip effect says you have a 2% chance when struck in combat of it increasing your dodge by 20% for 6 seconds. I don't want to get hit as a rogue ever. This is now a useless cloak that I put a 1% dodge enchant on. Can I have my reagents back? Please? Please? I think I took Nexus crystals. It was very expensive. You guys are mean. I actually can't remember what it required. Let me check. Crafting, enchanting. Beyond cloak, and then okay. I want my 3 Nexus crystals, 8 large brilliant shards, and 8 guardian stones. I want them back. I would never have put a dodge enchant on that cloak now that it does that. It used to just have flat dodge on it. Absolutely monsters. Relevant my butt. Okay, done. The meta is changing, not thing getting relevant. I'm sorry, Haxer. But I did invest in a gear set that then got changed. Specifically rogue pieces, which, by the way, there's no alternate tier sets for rogues. And if the rogues and hunters don't start teaming up and start causing a ruckus about that, I don't know why we haven't, but we should. I don't even main Vrograg, but come on. At least one set for either, just like one little bonus set. You know, like maybe like one for assassination, one for combat, or something. And then for hunters, like they probably need a survival set because that playstyle's so different. And no, the changes to tier 2 was directly targeted at rogue tanking because they were by and far one of the best evasion pieces. Why don't I do shaman tanking? Because I actually I don't know if you know this, Apollo, but I had a really bad experience with tanking on Turtle WoW. I got really into it. I invested a lot of gear and a lot of wealth into it. I got really jazzed about it. I wrote guides. I made spreadsheets, and then it was taken from me. What's to say they won't do that with shamans? Now, is that a vindictive take? Yes. Am I allowed to feel that way? Yes. I am allowed to still be upset about it. And it's not because I want that form of tanking to still exist. I just want there to be a way for rogues to tank, and they haven't really done that. And they tease us. They tease us. Look at this. Where is it? What is this? Additional threat? We have a threat poison. Still no mechanics to tank. I was on class council. I lobbied hard for rogue tanking. I was told, and I still think it was the right choice, that like, hey, not going to focus on that. We're going to actually like make sub and assassination do something other than suck. I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough. They've been waiting longer. Yeah, I mean, I have been curious about maybe doing a little bit of tanking on Obomsawin. The thing is that like I have so much caster gear. I have so much caster gear, and I have resto gear. I'm running into the problem that a lot of hybrids bump into. Shout out to the druids in the valleys, you know what I'm talking about. Between resist sets and 3 to maybe even 4 different specs, you're gonna run out of bag space. if you're progressed at all, or you need to make some serious decisions. Which, by the way, now you're scared to make them because, like, let's say for instance, Shabiji, my mage. She's just a trash mage. I play her occasionally. I'll take her to raids if like they really need a mage. I've had a good time playing on her, whatever, right? I played mage tons, so I know mage really well, but I did a MC like a year and a half ago. I got the Band of Sulphurus. I barely play Shibiji. That thing just collects dust, but I use it for like maybe lasher farming, something like that. It has a lot of stats. Just recently, they came up the true Band of Sulphurus. Now, there's a world where if I had like limited bag space on Obamsawin, I might have just gotten rid of that ring. And then I'd be kicking myself in the butt because I had it and I got rid of it. James says I should RP as a cat tank. You could even use bear like an emergency cooldown. Actually, not that. Actually, yeah. Do they get the same dodge coefficient as rogues? I think I still remember. It's rogues get 2 dodge for 29 agility. I don't know what cats get. You guys, hold on a second. You guys probably heard Mandalore meowing. I'm gonna check. He has an automatic feeder, so he might be meowing for water. I'll be right back. Yeah, I don't know what his malfunction was. He's still out there. He's still meowing about something, but it's not his water. How about boomkin tanks? Dude, I don't even think they have threat talents, do they? All they can do is not take threat reduction talents. Rogues are in a very good spot right now. It's true. Like, I should probably test out some stuff with Rogue Rag and have some fun. I mean, I think this is I'm in combat right now. But I'd like to try out a subtlety build, and I'd like to try out a assassination build. But with the subtlety build, I'm really interested in getting the Shadow of Death thing going. Looks pretty cool. Hemo is stronger than ever before with that, because now it's a physical damage percentage, so it's scaling. It's not just like a flat damage buff. So it's better than before. They reduced the cost of Hemo again, so it's your cheapest combo point builder if you spec into it. What else? This one gives like a little bubble, I believe, to rogues when you vanish. With some new energy stuff and the lower cost of Hemo, keeping up 2 stacks of Tricks of the Trade means your group will get 4% crit. And now it's, I don't know if it was always spell, but now it's spell and melee, at least if it wasn't before. Mark of Death is really strong. Improved exposed armor is also in subtlety, which I kind of think it should have been to begin with. I don't know why it was in assassination. And Noxious Assault, I think there's like a higher rank of it in AQ 20 because the team loves doing that. Listen, team, you can still get like a 90 on a test and get an A, but there's still some red circles, and there's 2 that I mean were kind of annoying. Knowing that there's a higher rank of Noxious Assault that you have to get from a raid. This is a spec'd spell. Same thing with Molten Blast for Molten Core. Like if you want the highest rank, you just gotta go do Molten Core and get it. I mean, it's just like because, well, for instance, look right here. Can you show me where Dust of Disappearance is? It's not there. Now, did Dust of Disappearance have a tablet or a book you needed to read? No, it didn't. But who's to say that I might not just lose that investment of whatever I put into Noxious Assault if they remove the ability? That would be frustrating. If you don't know what Dust of Disappearance is, let me see if I can just pull that up. So I'd have to go back to Class Changes 2. Oh, hold on. Get that fish. Oh, another knife and snapper. Let's go. Right here. Dust of Disappearance. It's before its time. I liked it. It's gone. F's in chat for Dust of Disappearance, but yeah. No, that's why. Riddle, you're not supposed to eat talent points. I think. Wait, if you eat them, do you get more later? Rograg officially hates immersive vanilla RPG design. What are you talking about? I love Dust of Disappearance. I love that ability. I thought that was so cool. It just was kind of janky to use, but I liked it. F. Here's the thing. Dust of Disappearance would lower... You would have to target someone in raid first off, right? And then it puts like a short buff on them that reduces how much threat they're generating. Then, once the buff is removed or naturally goes away, their next ability does like a big chunk of percentage extra damage, which like might seem good on paper, but to get the best value out of it, you'd have to like, you know, message a warlock being like, hey, I have a macro. I'm going to Dust of Disappearance you. When you get Dust of Disappearance, you should have like a cancel aura Dust of Disappearance right before you send out a big Shadow Bolt to get a big Shadow Bolt crit. That's a long walk for one ability, but I liked it. York says, any advice for finding a casual raiding guild? I was part of one of those mass invite guilds while leveling, and one guy I became friends with joined a French language guild. Oh, are you in Le Croquant? Or are you in, I can't remember the other one. Dang it. I only know Le Croquant. So what I would suggest is actually checking the guild advertisements in the Discord. Under like Nordanaar guild recruitment. They have like a whole page that just is guilds that are recruiting. Kind of shop around, look. They usually will say like what languages they're using, raid times, sort of like roughly what their culture is, where they are in progression, that kind of stuff. And I think that might help you find a good spot. Progger, that's really a shame because I feel like my favorite experience leveling up has been with a rogue. I've leveled up as a shaman and as a mage and now a hunter. Still my favorite's rogue. You are by far not the best at anything except for sneaking around, but it is very fun. Oh yeah, absolutely. And hopefully you can find somewhere. And if you find somewhere that like isn't like a great match, like don't be discouraged. Like you can always change. You're allowed that. I think taking time to find a good community is worth the effort. Riddle, that is so true. Stealing NPCs' wallets is like a time-honored thief tradition, and I simply love the custom loot tables for rogues that only come from pickpockets, which, by the way, rogues didn't get a new tier set, and all the new content, I don't think, has any custom pickpocketing loot tables. Just saying. I mean, no tier set, at least give them a little love. Give them a little something. I mean, yeah, the class changes are great. But, we got poisons. That's great. Listen, I'm not going to look the gift horse in the mouth, but if you're not pickpocketing, you're not a rogue. I'm sorry. You're just a worse warrior. Until recently, where now I think you're actually kind of commensurate, if not better. Saving the eels. Yes, that is a good community. I would love to know if I wish I had like some way of like automating to see how many casts I've done that have been empty. It's gotta be 50% of my cast, like roughly. Slips, I know that feeling. I might even be able to one up it in a way. Hold on. Let's see, where did I store that? Keep fishing, Verga. You're not allowed to stop fishing. I have it deep in the screenshot folder. Copy that. Stream pics. Okay, let's see if I can get that up now. It's gonna be really big. I'm gonna have to scale it back. Don't worry, Jakku. There. This is a long walk, but there's something at the end of this road here. I did show this one off in my orientation video, but if you look closely, this picture is from like early 2022. I had just gotten the Immortal title. what do you see in Vrograg's main hand right there? Now let me ask you this, Jakku. You were pretty pumped when you got the blazing longsword, but can you imagine the exhilaration and the terror of being hardcore, knowing you have a T-Boost in your hand and you can't equip it until you finish? That was something else. I was sweating. I'm like, I need to make this worth it. I can't die now. Yeah, that was and this is like real deep Vrograg lore, but I actually had a whole storyline thing centered around T-Boo's blazing longsword actually being a cursed blade that threatened Vrograg's life. And South Fury Trading Company, we had like a series of like story plot things that we did to help Vrograg remove the curse of the sword. So, I mean, it was an RP set piece. It was everything. It was great. Oh, sorry, Lax Elv, I didn't even see you ask. I am on Gilligim Island. I'm on the easternmost island. If you don't know where Gilligim is, it's because you're probably Alliance and you go to Lapidus when you fly over here. Let's see, there was something else I had to talk about. Oh, right. So if you've been watching the stream for a while, you probably also know I've been talking and chatting a lot about my my little icon differentiation project. I've shared some stuff with you. I've been talking to tons of people in the community about icons they would like to have different artwork, icons they would like to have differentiated from one another when they share the same artwork. And so I did a ton of work on that. And so you might be curious, hey Vrograg, you said you'd be submitting them and that the team would choose on them. And that is true. I do not know the full extent of how many they give a thumbs up or thumbs down to, but I can say that they are technically in the client. However, in the world of WoW, there are two things you always need to keep track of when you're like a dev. There's the client. The client's the thing we get to play around with on our computers. And then the server is the thing we don't get to play around with. That's what listens to what the client thinks is true and tells it if it's true. Sort of. I don't know. That's kind of really rudimentary and probably vastly false. But the reason I say that is because technically all of your clients have as many icons as have been accepted. However, the server does not know to show them. Maybe with this server reset, you'll get to see them, or maybe a future server reset. I don't know. Probably on the hierarchy of like most important things. There's like Chain Heal needs to be fixed, and like Molten Core needs to like not keep kicking tier 3 raiders into the dirt. And then like down here is like, oh, Vrograg's derpy little icon project. However, I can show you some of the fruits of my labor, which is, I'm going to finish this cast and I'll show you. Yeah, Laxelf, you can literally swim here from Lapidus. Like, I can see Lapidus in the north. So some of those islands off and away, that's just Lapidus. If you have swim speed items, it's not that bad. If you don't, it's going to take a while. Yes. Oh, really? If you check your macros tab, you will see all of them. Really? Hold on. I want to show some of the ones that are already in the game currently that players can enjoy. Now, the reason these ones are currently in the game is for one reason and one reason only. And that is because their file name wasn't changed. So these are ones that were changed previously in 1.17.2, and like I did like an oopsie and I needed to upload a new version of that icon. So let me all right, let's go to Blizzard UI, because the Blizzard UI can actually see the icons a little better. So we're gonna go here and we're gonna go to banana bread. This one might not be super obvious to you guys. The original banana bread icon was like surprisingly orange, almost pink. So I went in and like kind of tuned down the color on that. Distilled wisdom. Now, Flask of Distilled Wisdom in the previous patch was like same bottle shape, but it had like a flat blue. I was supposed to add this color gradient to it, and I forgot when I gave it to Haxer back in like 1.17.2. That was just an oopsie on my part. And Dreamless Sleep. This one, probably not a potion you probably use very often, but the previous incarnation of the icon looked really bad, and I used a I accidentally uploaded like a rough draft of it, I think, or something like that. So some of the icons are in. All the icons are in. But now I'm kind of curious. Can I really find all of these? Hold on. Which one of these don't I need? Okay. Update macro. Oh, can I? Okay, hold on. It'd be INV. Nope. Eco. No, I think they're just named after stuff, unless it's eco like that. Nope. I am seeing some new icons in here, though. It's not like I'm an encyclopedia on icons. I'm trying to wait till I can see one that I know that I finagled in. It might just be at the end. I can see some recolors, like this is a recolor. I know that one's in. I don't know what these are. These are the Shadow of Death runes. These are pretty cool. Oh! Okay. So. Iron Web Spider Silk. Spider Silk. Thick Spider Silk. Forest Web Spider Silk. And another Spider Silk that I'm not remembering the name of. All use the same icon. And there's two others that I'm not remembering as well. That are like gray drops or something. Some of these icons are in the game. Some of them got in. I can't find all of them because I don't know how to search here. Riddle, you got the name Riddle on Ambershire? That's awesome. Wait. There's an eco here. The ecos are very easy to notice when we come across them. I have no idea how they're annotated here, though. All right, maybe the ecos did make it in, or they're not in this list. I don't know. What's like a file name of one that I would know? I don't think it's based on file name. Oh well. Maybe more to see from that when there's a server reset. I wonder if it's worth. Yeah, maybe guess. And bring it up over here. There it is, okay. No, we do not need, like, any of that. So... oh, can I zoom out on these? Maybe a little bit. Okay. You can see some of, like, the suggested eco art changes, knacks, trinkets. This one was particular call out by the community. Iron ore maybe changing its icon. Heart of the Wild changing from the Khadgar whisker to its own thing. This is made by Dane. Soothing spices, hot spices, and mild spices having different icons. Highly desired by the cooking community. It looks like a mishmash, but the scrolls being different. Currently, there are 6 buffs that can be given by scrolls, but there's only 3 icons. I added 3 icons and tried to have the colors make a little bit more sense based on previous buffs. There's a couple more ones there. This one I'm excited about for Warlocks. I don't even play Warlock, but I like being able to look at the stone and know what the stone does. Some voodoo dolls. There's one other thing I don't think I even have in here that I... oh well. You'll see when it comes out anyway. I had to share that though. I'm very excited for when that comes out. Soap Lava says, has Turtle Wow done anything for the other Emerald Dream Gates? Soap, where is that? If you're talking about like the Emerald Nightmare area, I think like on a GM tune you can still like get there. Is that what you're talking about? Also, Apollo, I think I might have missed this question. You said, are reagents still required for this version of the game? Poisons and vanishing powder? Yes, they're not hard to get. Riddle asks, when is Turtle Eye adding Northern? They already did. Ice Point Rock. You know where Ice Point Rock is, don't you, Riddle? You must have been there by now. I know you've done a good amount of exploring around the old turtle. Oh, the portals. Yeah, I don't know if they haven't done anything to my knowledge. They should. That would be pretty cool. One rock doesn't count. Checkmate, Riddle. That's an iceberg. The Tuscars call it a rock. Did the Outlands project get scrapped? No, like Outlands is definitely... you can get to Outlands through Kara 40. It's on stream I've been there, in fact, a couple times. I don't think there's like there's not like a leveling zone in Outlands, if that's what you mean. The only thing that's like on hiatus that I know the team's officially acknowledged is Scarlet Enclave. It's supposed to be part of like a raid or something. It's just there, just has elites running around, doesn't really do anything. Oh, bless Sissy. Hello. Did you guys notice that at the top where it says back to fishing, the vines are like perfectly framing back to fishing? I just noticed that. Oh man. Where are we at? Also, it might not seem like a lot, but I do want to show you guys one thing at least about all these night fins I've been catching. Raw night fin snapper. Hold on, let's make sure I keep catching here. They're going for just about like a tiny bit less than 1 gold. I mean, that seems like a pretty big win. That means if I sold these at market value, I'd be getting 28 gold. I mean, it's not like the highest end gold for. Oh, thank you. I won't say no to delicious fish. And I have a couple stone scale eel. Those are, yeah, well, yeah, the value here is pretty much right. It's like 90 to 95-ish silver. Also very valuable. Night fins are not in hot of demand, but also are valuable. Hello, Grokar. I'll give you a little wave. Come and fish, friend. Is that my fishing rod or yours? Nope, that's yours. He says he doesn't like fish, and I will say we must all overcome the things that challenge us. Like Kara 40? How dare you? Bless you. How could you? Herka like chewing on dwarf arms? Do they like fish? I think Herka's the name of the pet. Yep, Herka. I certainly have a few I could offer up. If you like, I can offer you... What would I give this guy? Some for 1 copper a piece. I love random little RPs like this. Holds up a fresh well then. Okay. Enjoy. Sleep well, kind bear friend. I kind of ruined immersion by having a goblin auctioneer out the whole time. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Yeah, I mean, I did see some of the Telebim AQ Gates opening event on their server. Some of it got pretty badly borked by some... I don't know how much of it was mismanagement, how much was forgetfulness, and how much of it was, like, jank code. But there were some things that got messed up there. I think I saw sometime this morning there's already a level 40 on Ambershire. I can literally hear the wind from the whooshing sound as the point of Turtle Wow goes over their head. I am slowly getting invested in this Haruka story going on behind me. This bear's just wandering. Yeah, Soap, right? 40's kind of nuts. I mean, what that's... trying to think. Opened on Sunday. Monday. Yeah, that's 3 days. Yeah, that's pretty quick. Thank you, Soap. You get it. I wouldn't advise drinking that water. I'm starting to think Haruka, this bear that's wandering around behind me, is like a little confused. Also, can someone explain to me how can... Alright, I thought that when you do Eyes of the Beast, like you stay still as a hunter and you're like channeling. How is he talking and moving around and stuff while he controls his bear? That is his pet. There's so much about Hunter I still don't know. It could be Drew. It could also be like some mega sweaty. I mean, it's fine. Like, I'm not gonna sit here on my high horse and be like, I've never tried to speed level a character before. It does make for an interesting challenge, but I feel like there's so much to do on Turtle WoW. I'm like, all right, you'll get to be 60, and then you'll be like, damn, I missed all that stuff. I will say that, I mean, this catch rate on Nightfin is kind of nuts. I'm catching at just about a quarter of my successful casts, which is really like an eighth of my casts because I keep getting dead casts, but it's pretty cool. Okay, it's getting more interesting because now the bear and the druid as a bear are, I don't know if they're scrapping. Oh, that's right. Is that any hunters or warlocks? How's take command working? Or not take command, take position. How's that been working? Soap Lava, I don't know if you're... I think Drew's old enough to remember this, maybe. But I think the movie... I was like the Whiz Kid? I think it was like where some kid played in like a Super Mario Brothers 3 tournament to like see who could get to Bowser and like beat the game the quickest. I think that did irrevocable damage to the video game community. I'm really happy that warlocks and hunters have that ability, because I remember just like feeling the blood drain out of my face when I learned that when you tell a pet to attack in a raid, it just stands pretty much wherever it kind of wants, usually in the front. And I'm like, that's dangerous and will cause parries and kill tanks. Why would you do that? The wizard. I was going to say the whiz, but I'm like, no, the whiz is something different. So yeah, because when Soap said the warp whistle in Super Mario Bros. 3, that's what made me think of that. It made it seem like beating a game really quickly was some sort of like achievement. I guess it is, but I don't know, man. I am totally dating myself by saying I watched that movie. And I mean, it's a bad movie. It's like a PG version of Rain Man, but with Nintendo. And it's just a commercial for Nintendo. Rift Tracks, Mystery Science Theater 3000 did one. Oh, another druid. What's that druid doing? Oh, they're just going after stone scales. Fair enough. Yeah, Drew, I think we are of an age. Although you're older because you have kids. Druid came by accident, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna. That could be a bear tank out here hustling for that stone scale so they can get an armor potion, so they can get Flask of the Titans. I respect the hustle. Kruka sure is a curious bear. Oh, that's cool that I'm not the only old person who remembers that movie. But, I mean, they just put beating Super Mario Bros. 3 on such a pedestal. It's like maybe that got into the subconscious at, like, finishing a game quickly. Okay. Hear me out on this. As a game, I understand wanting to beat it quickly. As a piece of media, I do not understand it. So, like, if I hand you a book and then you hand it back to me 5 minutes later and be like, read it. If I gave you, like, a really good movie to watch and you watched it on 4x speed, like, are we talking about the same artistic media anymore? Do you see what I'm getting at? And so video games are in this weird cross-section of both game and, like, artistic work. So, so to me, it's like, speedrunning through WoW, I'm like, cool, you beat the game part. But, like, the other half of the media is still there. My grandma grew up on dirt floors, and now she's watching videos on her phone. Yeah, I'm not someone who I generally. I will say that, like, people who like do speed running, I think that's genuinely pretty impressive. It's really fun to see the routes and the ingenuity that they employ to do those things. I still feel like it's different than the leveling experience in WoW. Like, trying to rush through that. I mean, for what? So you can do some raids you've done a million times again? I mean, granted, Molten Core is a little tougher, but... Drew, I would love to know if you've done Molten Core since the changes, what your experience was like. Your bear reminds me of an an old friend of mine, Roxana. She had a bear pet about the same size. Very loyal and curious. I know you meant to say bosses, but I kind of like the fact that you wrote hoses. New, it's like a separate thought. New hoses, also interesting. To which I said, yeah, like if you got a new hose, I'm like, whoa, what's going on? Doing some yard work? You got like a new faucet out back? Doing some gardening? Yeah, the comp that the Blackwing Guard like Friday crew went with was not the comp and was not the effort level required with consumes needed to make that raid finish. We wiped on Domo a number of times. We wiped on Emperor Thorzen. We didn't even get to Rag. No, we did get to Rag, excuse me. We did kill Rag, and then we got to Rag, and we're like, whoa. Daily, I don't know. I think if I was raiding Kara, I might know, but I haven't heard. Yeah, Drew, I think the reason the Friday crew struggled was because it was much more like fresh 60s mixed in with like a smattering of tier 3s. So the experience was much different. Especially the one thing I noticed in particular was the raid-wide damage Rag does. Ouch. It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage to try to be healing with a broken chain heal. As a shaman, it's been a rough couple days. Can you imagine a world where you do a Sapphiron fight as a shaman healer and you aren't in like the top, 5 healers? That fight is made for raid healing. Last night's snacks, and I'm not saying I'm like a big healing pumper, right? I got the gear though, and I did a lot of chain heals. It wasn't bouncing. It wasn't bouncing all the time. Sometimes it was, and then sometimes it didn't. Sometimes it bounced to people that had full HP. We got Saf down, but I could literally feel the sweat coming from Murag. The priests and the paladins threw the whole team on their back and said, let's go. No, Daily, I will never say... In fact, I've even agreed with the 10% nerfs they put out for Chain Heal. I'm like, yeah, no, that's fine. That's warranted, valid, and true. Like, you should do that. But where I was disagreeing was Chain Heal not working. Like, it still got to do what it says on the tin. Any advice for what my warriors should be doing? As a fresh 60? I don't know what warriors prioritize. And I also don't know what kind of speed of progression you're looking for. If you're looking to take it easy and slow and slowly work your way up, I would just suggest doing dungeons. slowly working your way up with gear there. You can also use that time to build up some extra gold to save up for some other things. You can ask around, and obviously you know about crafting, so maybe look into getting some of those hard to find crafting recipes that might be helpful for you. It can give you something to do at least. Oh, her name. Her bear is Misha. She said she named it after a hero of hers. Yeah, and I mean, like, obviously the raid teams that need shaman healers on Nord, I feel you, I get you, but it's really a lot more essential for Telebim Horde. Because, like, that just leaves you priest and druids. They can do a lot, but they can't do it all. Daily, like, here's how it is, right? I tested Chain Heal on PTR. It was working fine. If you remember from my stream, I was trying to test out Earthquake, but that wasn't on the PTR. It hadn't been fixed. They needed to do something with the spell database. I don't know how true this is, but based on the conversations I've overheard and asked questions about, anytime they mess with what's called the spell DBC, something happens. It is the most black magic of the black magic in all of Turtle WoW. It is where the unexpected becomes regular. So here's what in my headcanon probably what happened. Oh, let's fix Earthquake so it now has a distance and can be cast, and Molten Strike. Okay. And then some unknown variable makes Chain Heal do something different. They did testing on Chain Heal, they did testing on Earthquake before, and now they enable all of them together, but then they don't work together for some reason. Can you test for every eventuality? No. Does that seem like a more glaring one? Yep, and that's why it's one of the only ones we're talking about. So, I mean, it's a little bit column A, column B. They definitely do play Horde. And I would say, at a certain point, it's almost become a meme that I will bring up the lack of Horde-specific content in comparison to Alliance within dev channels. They are aware of that. They are working to remedy it. I want to believe them. In fact, I do believe them. But I also look at what has been going on since 16.0. Time and time again, Alliance always gets a little more. I'm like, okay, if you know about the issue, stop making it worse. Because Northshire, that's pretty much, except for one exception, which I guess someone did find. I couldn't find it on the PTR while flying around doing stuff. There's one quest for Horde in all of Northshire. So, okay, I feel ya. I even think that Northshire is a really good idea. But you did make the gap bigger, right? We're in agreement there that the gap got bigger. So, okay. So which patches, I've been told, obviously a patch that's going to have Zulamon should have a lot of Horde content in it. I don't know when that one's coming out. But, you know, beating a dead horse only gets you so far. They definitely do play Horde, but I think there is just less Horde content. Whoa. Sorry, Haxer. I just noticed this interesting thing you said. Instead of having to do reverse engineering black magic to investigate issues, we just look at our source code. What do you mean, your source code? I thought it was on real Azeroth's. Where did she go? But yeah, obviously that's going to be way more easy when the source code makes sense. Our source code. Hold on, I gotta find this guy. Help this guy. Stretches. Can I stretch? No. Okay. Stretch. All right. I'll lend a hand. Yeah, and Yorick, like, that's what I understand is pretty much the issue, is that vanilla WoW just has more Alliance context and more Alliance just lore, just period. Every time you do something for the Horde, you're kind of free ranging it. You don't have a lot of basis to make stuff up off of. It makes writing stuff more difficult and sometimes can be a little bit challenging. I think the Turtle WoW team's up to it, but it's not going to ring as true. It's going to ring much more as like this is an invention of Turtle WoW. And I think Turtle WoW tries to avoid making things seem too much like it's a turtle thing. They want to make things seem like a vanilla thing, like a forgotten vanilla idea. Oh, up the hill. Does it mean, like, in Warcraft 1 and 2, the orcs just came from another planet and just attacked stuff? That's not a lot of basis. Warcraft 3 did a lot of heavy lifting for the Horde. Think they'll ever add Dragon Isle? I doubt it. I don't know how early in lore Dragon Isles were even mentioned, or if they exist in like early lore. If there's like a cutoff for like lore that I think they would consider, I think it's like the beginning of vanilla. I think after that it's kind of, that's when the timelines diverge roughly. It's true, Soap. Soon they're gonna run out. Soon they're gonna need stupid ideas, like from me. Oh. Oh, we found the bear. I like how I'm talking about all these really heady topics while I'm also doing an RP with this guy trying to find this bear who got lost on the island. Neil. Maybe it was the salt water it drank. Back around the island. Grow car. Soap, I see what you did there. There is, and actually, you're right. There is a lot of lore. I love like the human ruins of Corthan stuff I did, like some really like weird out there stuff that like I checked out. And I'm like, wow, this is really interesting writing on some of this stuff. And you can't fault me for saying like, now do more for Horde. It is as much a complaint as it is a message of belief and faith that the team could do right by the Horde. Make sure your bear is healthy. Sometimes they can act odd when they are sick. Have you had a chance to run through all the new content? Bless, no. I haven't done any of the new dungeons. I haven't been to Ambershire. I haven't been to Grim Reaches, and I haven't been to Baelor. I literally haven't done any of it. The only new content I've done is getting my booty kicked by Rag multiple times. So, come on. I started the stream off saying I had to volunteer all weekend. That's true, Haxer. That is the way. Or could be that she keeps drinking salt water. Do you know if someone has a spider title already? There's a spider title? Oh yeah, there is. I forgot about that. I don't... No one I've seen. And as Soap was shaming me about, I haven't been on enough to notice anyone with it. I mean, I do actually have like a level 30-something priest, and Murag has a level 30-something warrior. Like, primed and ready to go for that content. We've just been busy. Oh. Have this. Holds up. Give her some for the trip. It might help. It's much less salty. I hope this bear's okay. Ruka. I am the orc with the news. I am also the orc with a full-time job. And a wife. And bills. And evidently, the holder of a 50,000 view video. So, I mean, I'm a lot of things. Orc with obligations. Yes. Yeah, I mean, if it was like another time, if I was like, you know, a younger orc, if you will, I'd probably be a lot more toxic, a lot less interested in making good content, and I would have tons of time. Grokar is saying that they need to go explore some Dwarf Grograg. Jots down the information on a notepad. Oh yeah, I would have been a cigarette smoker back then too. You guys hate my vaping? You would have really hated my 2-pack a day problem back then. Whew. Just choking them down. Well then, fight with honor. This RP is getting interesting. This guy's going off to some dwarf lands to go kill dwarfs because they killed his mother. And he got the bear from dwarf lands. +5 for charisma. I mean, cigarettes do give you charisma, and I hate that. But don't let people lie and say that it doesn't. It does. It just don't do them. You know? It's like taking steroids helps your strength stat, but don't do them. You know what I'm saying? Taking estrogen helps your dex stat. You become way more flexible. Don't take it. Unless you're the kind of person that needs to take it. I'm trying to think what drug is for each base 6 stat. I don't know what would help Constitution. Intellect, I'd say maybe Adderall. Wisdom, maybe like maybe cannabis, maybe I don't know. It doesn't always make you wiser, so I don't know about that. Morphine for con. I mean, if con is just a measure of pain tolerance, perhaps. Antibodies? No, I like the antibodies first. Antibodies. Yeah, I guess like when I think of con, right? I think of like, it's associated in 3.5 and in Pathfinder with fortitude, right? So there's a measure of it that's like the size of your body, the robustness of your body, your immune system, but also your ability to hold your breath. Oh, I got it. HGH, human growth hormone. The stuff that Lance Armstrong was taking to win all those Tour de France. That's the one. Also, don't do it unless you need to. That's the one. Because that will make you like have incredible endurance, which I think endurance is a better measure, I think, of con anyway. All right, so only one we have left is wisdom. Is there a performance enhancing drug for wisdom? You don't need a bike to use it. HGH is used in many sports, especially ones that require endurance. Long distance running, triathlons, all like off the books. But I mean, okay, sure. No, Adderall is definitely for int. I'd like to think so. I'm trying to think. Ayahuasca? Also, Blessed, I really appreciate that you tried to spell it. You and I both know that isn't how it's spelled, and I couldn't tell you how it's spelled. So the reason I want to attach Adderall to int is because, like, your ability to, like, remember stuff gets way better. Remember, like, okay, wisdom is associated with willpower, right? So, like, your ability to resist, like, magical spells and effects. So I'm trying to think of, like... There's gotta be, like, some kind of nootropic I'm not thinking about. I mean, okay. So... Does alcohol make you wiser? Come on. And Blessed, when you actually look up how it's spelled, it's going to blow your mind. It makes you, yes, it makes you feel wiser, but it definitely does not help you become wiser. All right, let's try. Maybe there's like a... Oh, wait a minute. I think I got it. I got it. Benzodiazepines. Xanax. There's like another one I'm forgetting. Here's the reason why. It makes you stop panicking. It makes you just chill out and relax. Not worry about stuff. I feel like if you think about it on like an anxiety scale, like you're working against anxiety, you need willpower to like just like let things go. And it keeps along with the list of the six stat drugs. So like, yeah, Xanax. Guys, we made up a great list here. It doesn't matter for anything, but I'm going to even put this list in stream so I just remember it. Hold on. Yeah, no one will understand this. 6 stat boosting items to avoid. Hold on, fish. Okay, we had STR was T test, which is steroids essentially. Dex was estrogen. What did we say con was? Guys, this is important. I can't remember what we said con was now. HGH. HGH, I remembered. Wisdom was... Int was Addy and charisma. By the way, could make an argument for booze or cigarettes, but of the two that's more dangerous, I would say cigarettes. I want someone to come into stream and just have to look at that and just be like, you figure out, what does it mean? I can't wait for like 6 months from now when I'm like cleaning up my OBS. I'm like, what the hell is this? Yeah, charisma is a weird one. In second edition, there's a variant rule for charisma where charisma was split into two things. It was split into charisma and split into comeliness. So like charisma, in that sense, is like force of personality, social charm, social graces, and comeliness was specifically attractiveness, like in that more classical sense of like, you know, how hard are they, right? Which also is a subjective thing to some extent. But the nice thing about charisma, I mean, in most games that have those 6 stats, is that charisma can be either one. So you can either be like an LA10 and be an absolute smoke show, or you can be a 5, but you're like the most charming 5 ever. You know what I'm saying? What are you up to? Lizzie Babs. Hey, I'm still fishing. It looks like. Yeah, I'm still fishing. Could I explain what that conversation was right before now? Not really, but it started with someone. I was talking about cigarettes and how it's a boost to your charisma. I think I'm starting to understand. I mean, obviously, anyone who actually is listening to this for what I'm about to describe is probably not in chat right now, but I've had multiple people tell me that, like, oh yeah, I just like to put on your stream when I go to sleep at night. Like, I'll just like watch a VOD, just kind of listen to you, just yap away. I'm not offended. I'm actually honored a little bit. I kind of wish I knew who these people were though. Like, other than like those weird interactions, it's usually like in game, like, oh yeah, hey, I know not a lot of people say this, but like, I actually just like watch your streams, like when I'm just like kind of chilling, going to bed, doing something else. I'm like, huh? Really? All right. I know, Lizzie Babs, I know you would, because I mean, like, if it wasn't for Murug, I think you'd be my #1 super fan. And I do actually, technically, I do have someone I've already donned my #1 fan. That is one of Drew's kids. You could definitely be #2 though. Hey Ricky, how's it going? But you, Lizzie Babs, are in like 90% of my streams. And I'm pretty close to 100% of the comments of all my videos. What a weird journey it's been, huh? No, bless. I would never do that. Also, come on. I try to foster a nice chill vibe here. I wouldn't like scream into the mic. As funny as it would be. For the funny. Yeah, also, Mystery M. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting. I mean, I think because I have a lot of EU viewers and EU just isn't as, maybe they are, and I don't know. But I feel like because I have more EU viewers, I have more YouTube viewers just in general when I'm streaming. But YouTube has a much better VOD system. Like, when I'm done this stream, the VOD's just up. People can just watch it whenever they want, however they want. And it's lovely. You know. One of the reasons I also like that is because it's such a big international community, and it's like, not everyone's going to be able to catch my stuff. I couldn't catch my... Wait, no, that's a paradox. I don't want to think about that. I couldn't catch my own stuff because I'm streaming during my stuff. You ask a question about Blizzard. Did you... Ricky? Probably, but I mean, I don't remember what it was. Ricky, also asking me to remember something. You know what? Maybe I could use some of that Addy. Back to the list. Where's the list? Yes, there it is. I mean, if it's the one I think it is, which is why hasn't Blizzard shut down Turtle? How would they? Outside of genuinely extrajudicial and illegal methods. Because even they understand PR, so it's kind of a bad look. I'm sure their legal department wants to, but it's just out of their jurisdiction. Like, so if you send a cease and desist to the place where the server is, they'll go, cool. And like that, and that's the end of that discussion. That's why servers are hosted there. Where's Epoch hosted? It's not the US. I'll tell you that much. I mean that's a good point, Mystery. You're not wrong that is exactly what happened with Nostrarius. With Nost. I'm just gonna say Nost. I would say what is different is that having spoken to the team leads and the managers, they are paranoid about that exact eventuality to a point that is bewildering. Like, I can't do direct quotes of them sometimes because they don't want that. There are some times when I have to use signal chat to talk to them because it's way more secure. I think Nost didn't have that advantage. If I'm thinking, wait, was Nost or Elysium first? I'm not great on the early private server lore, but I think one or the other opened up their arms big wide to Blizzard and said, "Come on in." And then Blizzard said, "Cool, now we know where you live." So at least from that aspect, I think that it's a concern, but it's not one that I think that the team would invite upon themselves. I wouldn't invite that upon myself. That's why I keep the team at arm's distance. Because I don't want Pinkerton showing up at my place saying, "Hey, so, you know a Haxor guy?" And be like, "Can't help you." I mean, I think if your question is Blizzard still strong? Yeah, absolutely. They have, by measures, way more players. Even non-bot ones. They will always have that prestige. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, you got to imagine, too, Mystery, that's part of the reason why I why I like keeping tabs on the teams. I'm not trying to snoop on them, but I mean, I have made it clear in the past that if they're doing something super unethical, I'll burn every contact I have. Like, I'll let people know. Now, that does leave a situation where, like, if something looks suspicious, it usually means I come sniffing around and they need to explain things. Not like they owe me an explanation. They don't, quite honestly. But they also know that I am aware of more of the extenuating circumstances of things that are going on behind the scenes. And they trust me to, like, for instance, I think the Teddy Fear case that I dealt with back in 2023 was a good example of this, where I was like, hey, there was very clearly a GM who gave a player character that they were playing gear. And I asked to see the receipts on how that went down, how the investigation occurred, like who was banned and stuff like that. Because I'm like, this isn't a good look, and having someone who's independent and isn't part of your team look at this stuff makes a big difference. It wasn't information that I could share publicly, because that's a violation of the cheating GM's privacy as well. But at the same token, verifying what they're saying is also important. So, if NDA stuff happens and I don't know, I will be as blindsided as all of you. But I mean, yeah, I think that there is always a world where that can happen. Maybe it is naive of me to say no, that will never happen. I don't even think I can say that. What I can say is I don't think there is a level of trust that anyone in the private server community has to give or extend to Blizzard that they would ever act in good faith. So even if there was like a big sack of cash and an NDA, they've proven in the past to be bad actors in that regard. So I don't think, unless it's like a gigantic rack of cash, like really big, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I think there are people at Blizzard that are worth trusting, but I think the larger machine is not. Like, I guarantee you there's like really good devs on Blizzard, like really good devs, ones that are passionate about WoW, that are passionate about the community, and they keep getting hamstrung by the company. I guarantee you that's the case. Ricky is talking about the spell Blizzard. Oh, well, why didn't you say so? Actually, is that egotistical to put Blizzard, the named Blizzard spell in the game? I'm glad we're there. I'm glad we're there. We brought it all back. And just to put a bow on some of that mystery, I'm not like anxious. I don't worry about that stuff, but I will say that without naming any names, I have actually met in real life some people from the team, and they didn't have to meet me in real life. Like they didn't. The offer was extended. They chose to trust me. I literally could have been like some secret Blizzard agent. They took that chance. So to me, what that reads as is to get their trust, it takes a lot longer than I think Blizzard would ever be able or willing to provide. And they have a prurient interest in the community understanding their perspective on that. Haxer, you're absolutely right. I mean, Season of Discovery started off strong because corporate let them do what they needed to do to get people in. And then once that happened, they said, okay, they're in. Now the other shoe drops, right? That's what happened. Everyone I've talked to about Season of Discovery is like, it started out great. It was fun. Like, I loved it. It was great. Like, we were having so much, it was a grand old time. And then the same thing that always happens with Blizzard stuff happens. You know? I'm sorry. It sucks. And I feel for them, but like, dang. Oh, no. Well, that's easy for me. I'm never playing Blizzard, period. End of story. If every private server in the world evaporated overnight, I guess I just never play WoW again. Okay. I could play other things. At times, I am oddly and strictly principled like that. At times. There are some things where I completely can be, hypocritical. All of us do that. Like, I will never install or use TikTok. I just won't. It has to do with their music, their histories musically, how they tried to sweep that under the rug. All the other companies do similar things to some extent, but I was like, nah, I'm just not doing it. And I feel like my reasons for not liking Blizzard, not wanting to support Nintendo, like if you've watched any of my Pokemon streams that I did like a year or so ago, it's not Nintendo products. It's all ROM hacks. It's all custom games. None of that is... All it is people using Nintendo's IP. Or Fire Emblem, same story. People doing ROM hacks. I don't want to support official releases of anything. The closest I've ever come to supporting a games publisher I don't like is... I think I did a stream or two of Speed Freaks, which passively helps Game Workshop. I just really wanted to play Speed Freaks. Did not pay a cent though. Free to play game. So I felt a little better, but I didn't like that I gave them any sort of airtime. I still feel bad about that. Oh, yeah. I mean, Mystery, who else did that? It's not Platinum WoW. He's a guy that has, like, the warrior helm on all the time. Oh, jeez, it's killing me. I don't remember. He's a YouTube creator. I was following his stuff during Classic, and I remember when he called it. Mad Season. Got it. Hey, we got it at the same time. Except you guys are on a delay, so you actually got it quicker than me. So, all right, you won. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he called it too. And, yeah, it's such a letdown. Yeah, and Mosat 624. Yeah, I mean, they've they've been working on it since 2018. They have more and better experienced writers and developers in every regard than Epoch likely has. And that being said, I'm happy that there's another really strong contender in a similar space, because it makes Turtle Wow and their team have to provide good content, and it also makes Epoch have to provide good content. Both populations flourish, we both win. It's not a bad thing. I never understood I guess people just like being tribal. Okay, but it just seems so silly to me. Yeah, Haxer, I've been meaning to talk to the team about that. If the team keeps speeding up development, you can't keep calling yourself Turtle Wow. I haven't heard of that one, Mr. M. I'm kind of curious though. Free Realms. I'm gonna write that down in my notebook, my little notepad. Free. Oh, I forgot I had this. It's still up. Oh, okay. Well, now you know I wrote it down. Ninja Turtle Wow. Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did. I mean, yeah, I obviously there was some level of Turtle Wow wanting to catch some of the Epoch hype. I think that makes sense to some degree, but either way, they needed a new realm. They're probably going to need 2, possibly 4 when Unreal comes out. We'll see how that all well, that's going to be kind of crazy. And you know what? If I am just sitting somewhere random on Nordanaar, fishing and chatting with you guys while all the Unreal stuff's happening, it'll be a good week. Maybe the Unreal client will help fishing. Sony. So I guess I can see how that cookie crumbled eventually, huh? I mean, I can't fault the companies for wanting to recoup, right? So like, with the exception of WoW, most MMOs take millions of dollars to develop. Millions and millions, tons of man hours to develop. And even if you are a soulless corporation, even I understand you looking at the balance sheet and going, hey, we blew 100 million developing this game and it's making how much? Yeah, I get it. It makes sense. It doesn't make it better, but, you know. So Ricky, I believe the plan is not to, we will merge them no matter what. I believe the plan is, if for whatever reason the population on Ambershire gets low, then they would merge them. If that makes any sense. They said that, I think, in part because when they made that original announcement, they weren't sure if it would fill. I was positive it would fill. Like, positive, and I think they're, you know, again, if anyone knows me and has, like, asked me this question, like, oh, are you going to try Epoch or are you going to play in Ambershire? My boilerplate answer is always like, yeah, like a couple months after they release. When the dust settles a little bit, when the fresh chasers just go away, I'm going to saunter in, I'm going to see what's left. And that's what the community is. Same thing happened to Telebim. Telebim, released a raucous success. Tons of people logging on, playing, progressing, doing world PvP. It was a good time. And then, what was it like? Winter of 2024. Sorry, winter to early spring of 2024. Very, very much sub 1,000 for a while. A lot of doomers, in fact. Same thing could happen to Ambershire. It's totally possible. So I think in respects to that potential, that being a potential thing could happen, I think it's wise to be like, hey, this isn't a PvP realm, so if that happens and there just isn't enough players available or enough interest, then like we'll go this route. Yeah, Ricky, I think it is going to need 2 realms, and so let's look at the numbers that I have at my disposal. I don't have the financials on Turtle. I don't have all of their numbers. Even the numbers they posted, you guys should know that I've done journalism long enough that I saw the post on Discord where they're like, hey, we started back in 2018 with only 100 players, and now we're up to 500,000 players. All those numbers I can't verify, and I'm sure I could ask like Bowser or Horda to be like, how did you get those numbers? How can you verify that all those are true? That kind of stuff, right? But at the end of the day, it's what they're claiming. I could push back on it. But the reason I'm bringing up that kind of stuff is that like the proof's sort of in the pudding, right? I could go look at Nordanaar and I could see how many people were on there. I could log on to Amber. I could see how many people were on there. I could log on to Telebim and see how many people were on there. All those numbers matched, and I'm like, okay, well, yep, fair enough. So I did some level of checking. The reason I bring this up, though, the larger arching thing, though, is that the data I have is how many people watched my orientation video. Who is going to watch that orientation video? It's not people looking for a server, necessarily. It's mostly people that said, I want to try Turtle, I want to understand some things. I had 50,000 views on that. Even if some of them are double hits, even if some of them are people that just randomly click on stuff, I got to imagine at least like 20,000 of them are people that either tried or are actively trying to play Turtle WoW in some way, shape, or form. So that to me is what makes me think that like even right now I think they could need another realm. There's a lot of players like me that see a fresh realm and go, yeah, that's not for me. I'm going to join a couple months later when things chill out a little bit. How are the other regional servers, Soap? I think so. It's super hard for me to get verifiable anything from China because it's China, and I have a huge language barrier there. I think at its peak, SEA was up to like 6 servers. They're down to 3 now. I believe there's... They said they had some reason in September to expand to 4. I don't know exactly what's going on with that. But it's just awkward how China exists sort of like as like an island apart. It's like part of the Turtle network but isn't because of a lot of like CCP kind of rules going on. So I know it's going all right based on what management seems to categorize it as. South Seas, I mean, They're like at like 2K-ish. I mean, colloquially, a lot would have heard from their community is like, I don't know how true this is because I don't have a lot of documents on it because a lot of them are not in a language I understand, the ones I've seen. But it's a lot of, there were unprofessional GMs were upset, and then a lot of infighting, and then people stopped playing. So I don't know if they're at that spot where Telebim was in spring of 2024. Actually, on the schedule, I think they actually kind of are close to that now to think about it. But it could be that. It could be that the community's left and they've just decided to play Nordanaar. I don't know what the full story is. But I think they're in a lull right now. So, like, that's one of those things where, like, the Discord announcement kind of tried to skip past that. And I'm like, those numbers aren't great. Hello, Jose. I was just talking about the SEA servers. Server, excuse me. No. SEA and then the SA servers. Why the team decided to abbreviate South America as SA when SA literally means like something in Spanish. just call it like Turtle South. Call it TS. Much better. Or, I don't know. Just not SA. That's all. I pointed that out to, like, Acalix at some point. I'm like, has this bothered you? He's like, nope, but now it has. You know what, Reynolds? That's okay, man. There's no right answer. I think what should be the tiebreaker for you isn't necessarily the one that has, like, the best gameplay. It should be the one that has the community you like the most. I genuinely believe that. Because, like, Ascension in many ways have much more dynamic gameplay elements than Turtle. They do. Some of them are predatory with, like, their little gotcha stuff, but the client's smoother. They have some pretty out there modders for, like, getting some crazy stuff in the game. So, like, from a technical aspect, I think Ascension's better. But from a community aspect, that's why I say in Turtle WoW. I mean, I've literally sat here and just been chatting with you guys as a community. I have missed half my fishing things because the team won't fix fishing in Gilligamaion. It doesn't bother me that much. You know why? Because I've been chatting with you guys. That's what I'm saying. A good community can make almost any terrible gameplay better and enjoyable. Although I will say, I mean, this session I'm at 23% of Nightfin. That's actually pretty good. It's still pretty good. Aloha from Alaska. Wait, Aloha from Alaska. Indy, you're confusing me. Aloha's Hawaii, right? Yeah. Hello, all the same. Yeah, I mean, if you're really into hardcore and you like being on a hardcore only server, I don't think Turtle would be your option. I think there's advantages and disadvantages to having hardcore and softcore mixed together. I'm still kind of on the fence about it personally. I can honestly see reasons for and against it. I think even if there was a hardcore server, I would want there to be like zero trading or something. No trading, no auction house. Just make them suffer. You know what? They haven't suffered enough. Make them suffer some more. Oh, hey, Bandy. Hey, what's going on? No, I don't have any. I might have a treat. No, okay, he just wants more bonus food. Guys, I can't feed my cat. He's too fat. Yeah, Reynolds, and I think in my heart, I don't think I've seen any devs specifically say this. The vibe I get from the shot callers is that yes, it would be good, but it would make the hardcore community stand out and just sort of be off on their own island. Like, remember how I said before that, like, it's kind of hard for me to get information about China because, like, they're very separate. They have their own language. There's all sorts of, like, restrictions about, like, which protocols, what programs you're even using on the web to, like, share information. So it's tough for me, right? And that's like an artificially constructed barrier, but a hardcore server wouldn't be maybe that bad, but it would be completely separate in another way. And there certainly are players. I mean, if anyone, I mean, look at me, right? I have the Immortal. My first character I ever, like, leveled up was Rograd. I could have gotten to level 60 and then been stuck on a hardcore server forever. Rograd be dead by now. You guys would never have the news orc. If there was a separate hardcore realm, you would have never had the news orc. Think about that. But because I was able to level up as hardcore, and then, I mean, when I leveled up, there wasn't really a choice. You could just choose to turn off XP game when you were 59 or not. Like, that was your option. But, that being said, it allows players to have that leveling experience and then rejoin the softcore community. So I think because of that, because, like, literally my experience was getting the best of both worlds, I can't strictly say I would love a hardcore server. Nuke Rom, thank you for the follow, thank you. Nah, Reynolds, if you die, you die. You got to hold that L, as the kids say. Hello, Nuke Rom. I think I have seen one or two of his post hacks. It is infinitely fascinating. If not, in my opinion, a little ill-advised to be a hardcore on Telebim. But who am I? It's been done before. There was a cloud of... I mean, I couldn't prove anything, but there were a lot of accusations of some cheesery tomfoolery that happened to rush them to 60 that made some people say they didn't really level 60. I didn't have enough to say one way or another, but I will say the journal certainly makes it a little bit easier for me to be like, oh, this is where they were. This is what they were doing. I mean, Haxer, if he's smart, he's probably putting some heavy lag on those posts. I would. Yeah. It's definitely been done, Jose, but it's like... It's one thing on... I would probably argue it's... I actually don't know what it'd be easier on. It might be easier on Nord to do that, just because I don't think people are looking for world PvP. But, I mean, if we're being honest, you could just go to a dungeon. You could just hide there. Like, it's not that tough. I mean, you're safe in a dungeon. Generally. Yeah, I'm not sold, Jose. I think it's possible that it's harder on Nord because I think there are people that specifically hunt for hardcores. But at the same token, like, everyone at Telebim's looking for a scrap. You know what I'm saying? Well, yes, Haxer, but I mean, just get some. I guess you can't really summon, right? You could have some coordination though. Some level of coordination. If you're a rogue, it's going to be a lot easier, I think. Just in general. Paladin with a bubble hearth, maybe. A couple class tricks can make it a little easier. Yeah, I can do that. Yes, I am. I'll wrap up. Guys, Murag just came in with a gun. No. Don't worry, I'm safe. I think it's a water gun. But she's still threatening me. What time is it? Oh, yeah, look at that. It's 7:30. That makes sense. Okay. I should have wrapped up a while ago. All right. Hey, you know what, guys? Good chat. Also, good whatever this was. Hold on, where is it? No, not this one. Can't wait to see that later. All right. Anyway. Yeah, it is about time I start hitting the old dusty trail. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting. Keep me company while I fish. Shout outs to... what is his name? Grokar and his bear companion. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for the RP. That was fun. So thanks for chatting. Thanks for fishing. Thanks for supporting that video too. If you watched it, if you plugged it, I appreciate it. That was really cool. It was really fun to get so many views, get a lot of attention. Yeah, for right now, I'm gonna get off. I might stream tomorrow. I might not. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. I'm back on Knack, so I do have to do farming again a little bit. So I'll do my normal sign off, as I always do. Take care of yourself, and take care of each other. When you're playing video games, keep in mind the object is to have fun. So if you're not doing that, do something else. And, as always, remember, the deadliest weapon is knowledge. Bye, guys.